Hello, everyone, and welcome to Race Day Live on SupercrossLive.com. We're here for round 2 of the 2016 Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. I'm your host, Andy Boyer. Beside me, as always, is Jim Hollywood Holly. And joining us now is Miss Myra Tinajero, our new pit reporter. Welcome to the show, guys.
Well, it's good to be here, Andy. I thought yesterday with the clouds, a little bit of rain we had, but I mean, blue skies, I think it's going to be great. The little bit of rain we had. And Myra, I got to ask you, we were down on the track earlier, and the whoops to me are just humongous.
The whoops are huge. I mean, they were basically up to my chest. I think the one-digit rider guys are going to be just fine through them, but I think the three-digit guys are probably going to be struggling out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories, a lot of questions after the first round. You know, Ken Roxon gets a bad start, comes all the way up to 5th place. Cole Seeley goes out there and leads a lot of laps early. Chad Reed gets 6th, 4 KTMs in the top 10. What are we going to see tonight? It's almost like more anticipation than ever.
Yeah, no doubt. Anaheim was just insane, out of control, totally blew my mind. But, you know, and it was unfortunate that during this week we did see Jesse Nelson go out and practice. So I think some of the other guys are going to have to step it up. You know, maybe Zach Osborne is going to put in a better show and really challenge Cooper this week. I'm really hoping to see Eli Tomac. I mean, he was pretty quiet last week, ended up in 4th, and I think hopefully he'll be up on the podium this week.
Well, he had the fastest lap of the race last week.
He did, and his heat.
He'll be pointed on. I agree, and we can't forget about Trey Kennard, who won this event last year in San Diego.
Well, and then you also got to remember that Kenny Roxon finished 2nd here, so I look for those guys to rebound. But I want to get back to a guy like we were talking earlier with Eli Tomac. I think that was a great position finish for Eli compared to all the other Anaheims where you see him come out of there with a 1 or point or whatever. So he gained some good points.
Right.
Another guy, Cole Seeley, I talked to Jeff Ward, and he said, you got to remember that this guy had shoulder surgery, and this was his first race back. And Andy, you know as well as I do, and Myra, that, you know, once you've had an injury and you go out to the test track and you practice as much as that, it's not like race conditions, and he got that whole shot. He had a lot of pressure. The Honda bosses were there, but I think Cole Seeley that 3rd, and, you know, Chad Reed well also last week. And
no goggles.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him pull him off.
You know, Chad did ride really well last week, and we know that he's a good guy here in San Diego. You know, brings back memories to my first race here, and back in 07, he took the win there. He has 6 overall here, so I think he's going to put in a good show as well tonight.
Absolutely, Myra. And Myra's going to go down to the pits here in a little bit and bring us some stories, but we were talking about those whoops. They're pretty big. Let's go take a closer look at them. Andy Boyer and Jim Hawley with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. This week's track segment. Jim, we have some large whoops this weekend.
You know, what can you say about them? I mean, you go down there, it's going to be a right-hander. You're landing off of that triple. You got plenty of momentum to come in here. They start out small, but they're a little deceiving when you get down into this area here. You notice our Race Day Live banners. We're going to call this the Race Day Live whoop section because this is gnarly over here. A lot of things we can talk about. The other thing I like about it, right after immediate 180, if you can get underneath the guy, make some block passes, and right after that, it's a little step up, and then you're right into a triple again. So a lot of work in this section. I mean, you know, you would have thought that, you know, you come to San Diego, maybe it's going to be a little bit easier, but they're making it hard. And got to remember, last year, Cooper Webb in qualifying went down. So this track is excellent. Track's going to be excellent. Little bit of base mixed into that, so I'm not surprised if some guys are wearing some handguards.
And we got a little bit of precipitation going on right now. Hopefully that stays out of the forecast for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a beautiful day, but like you were saying, this part of the track, and particularly Calamity Corner right here, I think is going to be rough. Guys are going to be setting up passes. Guys like Chad Reed that love the whoops are going to be coming in with a lot of speed, going across the tops of this thing and looking to make a pass right here in the left corner.
Well, and you also got to remember that as the day wears on, after qualifying and things like that, the Dirtworks guys really can't get in here and work these things again, and they might start to get a little cupped out with the moisture that we have in the ground here. It's going to be great traction, but I could see them maybe starting to get cupped out. Hopefully, I always like to see the guys blitz straight across it. But by the end of the night, and you've seen it in the past, Andy, sometimes halfway through the main event, they're just doing 2-3, 2-3 or whatever, but hopefully they can blitz across them.
Right. Well, a lot of guys been asking for a big whoop section here at Petco Park. They got it.
Well, the good news, Jim Hawley, is the rain stayed away. We got beautiful sunshiny skies. The whoops look good. We got the 3-digit guys, like you said, have a little bit of trouble with them, but the studs are skimming them, and that's going to be great. But we talked about a lot of highlights last weekend. There was just a crazy night of racing, It was the season opener. There was just that one special time of year where everybody's healthy, everybody thinks they can win. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those highlights.
Let's take a look at the highlights from the season opener for the 250 Supercross West Championship as the gate dropped in Anaheim.
Through the first turn across the white stripe, Jesse Nelson, 13, Troy Lee, Red Bull KTM grabs the whole shot.
He was the winner here a year ago, looking to go back-to-back in Anaheim. Cooper Webb, the number 1, the reigning champ, came marching up through the field.
Here over the finish line jump, makes a pass on Jordan Smith, puts himself into second.
He wasn't done. The Yamaha rider kept marching up through the field.
Meanwhile, behind him, carnage. This is Christian Craig tripling into the turn. He hooks the foot peg for Joey Savacci. Both riders go down and lose tons of positions.
And the battle for the lead was on, and down went the number 38 of Craig.
He was lapped. He was in between your two leaders. Webb got really lucky that didn't cause Webb to go down. Then the race for the lead was on.
Craig reeled in Nelson, and look at how fast he is through the rhythm section.
Webb right here triples, gets to the inside of Nelson, takes the lead. Nelson would fall back, and Webb would pull away.
The Yamaha rider who was 7th here a year ago but won the championship, the winner here tonight in Anaheim. Cooper Webb takes the victory of the season opening round of the 250 Supercross West Championship. Season opening round for 2016, the 450 Monster Energy Supercross season got off to a rough start for the two-time champ James Stewart. He gets hit by the reigning champ Ryan Dungey, and down he went hard into the ground, knocking himself out, bringing out the Asterisk medical crew and the red flag.
Unfortunate incident for James Stewart, who started out this main event in such a great position. There he gives a thumbs up to the fans who are on their feet applauding him, but we would have a restart.
A complete restart. Once again, they all go charging off into the first corner. Tomac and Seeley, the early battle for the lead, but it was Cole Seeley who had grabbed the point.
And watch Trey Kennard take the inside from Dungey, and Dungey would go down, but he would not be out.
Now it's Jason Anderson on the 21, the Husqvarna rider. Second in this race a year ago, gets around Kennard.
He was on the move, and slowly but surely he would reel in. Cole Seeley makes the move here on Seeley to take the lead, just like he's done before in the 250 class. Anderson and the Rockstar Husqvarna was on fire.
Battle for second was good too, because Dungey got going again, caught Seeley, and the reigning champ got inside. But look at Anderson. Second here in his rookie season last year, gets career win number 1, and gets the Austrian company Husqvarna their first ever victory in Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship.
And like we said, last weekend was just a crazy night. In the 250 class, Cooper Webb was kind of hovering around there and just wore Jesse Nelson down, it looked like.
Well, and unfortunately that here in San Diego, Jesse Nelson's not here, because I thought Jesse Nelson, the way he started, he's a very good starter. I'd like to see the man who finishes up third last weekend, Zach Osborne. He's got to work on the starts. Maybe he can get up there, but somebody's got to challenge Cooper Webb, that's for sure.
Transition over into the 450s, and Cole Seeley really strong, loves Anaheim Stadium. It was like 2014, the 250 West, with Anderson and Seeley out there leading the thing. But, you know, and Stewart had the unfortunate crash with Dungey, and that was kind of the big headliners.
Well, and the headliner here at Petco Park in San Diego, Stewart's back. So he passed all the concussion tests and everything. So James Stewart is here in San Diego. But, you know, what I took away from the opener in Anaheim last week was a lot of aggressive riding on a lot of the guys. I mean, they were moving guys around and
Kennard
stuff.
and Dungey. And, you know, there was some bar banging. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that this week. Like that was then. This is now. This track is a lot different. We're going to go ahead and take a look at it with this week's Kawasaki track map.
We're going to take a look here, Andy, at the track. And like I said, here in San Diego, Petco Park, this is a baseball stadium, so it's a little bit tighter. We're going to watch the gate drop here, and we're off. And it's a pretty good long first turn as you run it down into there. Turn one. Right out of there, immediately you're going to get into a timing section. You got to hit that triple-double before you make that right-hander. Once you're out of that right-hander, it's a little step-on, step-off. And you got to make sure you step off this thing. If not, you're going to lose a lot of momentum. Out of there, it's another triple. Real nice timing second. That's the big 65-foot triple. Carry that momentum because you're getting into those big whoops. As you see, they get bigger as you go through there. Another 180. Look for a lot of good passing there. A little step up. Here, if you can triple that, and you're going to carry that momentum on the 65-foot triple. This section here is the longest rhythm section I've seen in a long time. As you go down through there, you're going to run it down there until the end. It's a left-hander right out of that left-hander. It's a double. If you can triple it, great. Up and over the Monster Energy finish line. Look for this little left-hand section to be tricky right in here. They took out some of those. They wanted it flat.
Right.
You come back onto the starting line straight away, but a lot of time for those guys to make a lot of good passes on that.
And there you have it, Kawasaki track map. You know, I think the prime passing point, Jim Hawley, is this big, long, gradual left-hander after the finish line. You know, the Feld track crew took out the whoops on the inside, so now there's going to be two lines. You can get underneath somebody, try to hug the inside, and you know, make a pass before you start heading back towards us in the rhythm.
Well, that's going to be interesting, too. As you can get underneath a guy and the guy's starting to push you out, if you're on the outside, you might want to hit the brakes and try to square back underneath him. So I look for a lot of guys that are going to be in and out. And like you said, in that you have a triple leading into the whoops there, and you look at the whoops coming down through there. It is big. Keep the throttle on. Don't let that front end drop. You let that front end drop, and you lose momentum in those whoops. You've just lost a ton of time.
Right. Well, it's the time of the show for the Rocky Mountain ATV Fantasy Insider. And, you know, when I think fantasy picks from last weekend, what stuck out to me the most, Jim Hawley, 4 KTM factory edition machines in the top 10. They were all fast and all strong.
Well, and I think last weekend a lot of people really didn't have Jason Anderson winning his first of his career in that 450, or Husqvarna for that matter, getting their first win in the Premier class because of the crash that he had in practice. I mean, we called it here live on Race Day Live when he went over. I'm thinking, and his times were really not that good, but that just shows you how mentally strong that these riders are, and especially Jason Anderson last weekend, that they can put that out of their mind.
Right.
And when that gate drops for that main event, they're on.
Right. And then
he was on.
The big number 7 had a bad night, but he's back. There's the graphics there with the top picks from last weekend. But you know, a lot of people's fantasy teams had, you know, number 7 in the top 5 or the top 3 or even winning the race. He's back. He looked pretty good in the first practice. I'd definitely look for James Stewart to put on a show tonight. And it's, you know, and then Dungey. You know, Dungey came back from his fall, charged all the way through the pack up to second place. So Ryan Dungey has to be a guy that you really have to look forward to putting at the top of your fantasy picks.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he traditionally starts out kind of slow, but with that second last weekend, and if he would have got a better start, you know, he would have been battling for that lead. But the thing that I looked on that graphic that I liked, 21 with the red background there, that presents a lot of pressure, and we'll see how Jason Anderson answers here tonight in Petco Park.
It looks good on the Husky.
It does.
Red, the white.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we had some Instagram action going on there. Paul Parabinos sent me a picture, and I was like, that has to go up. That looks cool. Just cool for that organization with Bobby Hewitt, Rockstar Husqvarna, making their first victory. Anderson, you know, we spoke to him on Track Walk, and it's still kind of sinking into him a little bit, it seems like.
Well, when we were on Track Walk, we got a chance to talk to Pit Buyer. Pit Buyer really instrumental in putting that together and buying Husky and getting another main brand. Even though KTM bought Husky, it's still two separate factories, and they want to go racing head-to-head against each other. But what a way to start off for, you know, KTM finishing second. And then, like I said, they bought Husqvarna and Husqvarna to get their first win. I know, you know, Mark Blackwell, Chuck Son, all the old Ken Howerton, all the old Husky guys from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
they were happy that Anderson won last week.
Absolutely. Well, that's our Rocky Mountain Fantasy Insider so far. We're going to have 2 more of those, but as the practices click off and we see what the 450A guys do. But for now, that's our first Rocky Mountain Fantasy Insider. Yeah, you know, and in the 250 class, it's Cooper Webb. Do you think he can sweep? Is it too early to say something like that, or do you think he can sweep?
Yeah, I think it might be a little early. I mean, the guy's amazing. There's no doubt about it. Last year here in San Diego, he gets off. We think he's not even going to ride. We said, well, maybe he'll get a 5th or whatever to try to get points for the championship. But he came out and, you know, he won the thing and just silenced everybody. But you know, that'll be interesting to see if he can run the table. I don't know. It's a lot of pressure. I think he wants to win another championship, but if anybody can do it, he can do it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have a lot more coming up. We're just getting rolling right here. Stay tuned. We got some words from our sponsors. We'll be right back from Petco Park.
High RPM aggressive riding takes a toll on your engine. Extreme heat adds to the challenge. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil synthetic base oils resist viscosity loss. The oil provides a protective film against wear to gears, bearings, and pistons. An extreme simulated start test and on-track testing with professional riders reveals AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil delivers bulletproof wear protection. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil. Out front performance.
There's a lot of performance hidden in these tires. These tires are insanely good. Selected as a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. If this is what experts thought about Cooper tires, imagine what you'll have to say. They're impressive on all surfaces. Put Cooper tires on your car today.
Your journey to work, to play, to see places you've never seen before. It's not where you're riding, it's who you're riding with.
Motorcycle Mechanics Institute invites you to text SX to 82257. Enter for your chance to win this 2016 Kawasaki Teryx 4 LE. Again, text SX to 82257 for your chance to win this 2016 Kawasaki Teryx 4 LE.
What's up, guys? Chase here at Rocky Mountain ATV VMC, and it is time for Fantasy Supercross. If you played Fantasy Supercross last year, the gameplay for this year is going to feel very similar. However, we have made some big changes to scoring that we think you guys are going to love. For 2016, we'll be giving away over $100,000 in prizes. Our grand prize will be the all-new 2016 Toyota Tacoma. We also have a brand new Race Prep KX450F and a KX250F for our first and second place winners. We have got a ton of other prizes that we're going to be giving away as well. We've also got weekly prizes for our top 10 winners. So if you get a late start to the season, it's not a big deal. You will still have plenty of chances to win. To start playing, simply go to www.rmfantasysx.com and create an account. RM Fantasy SX is fun, it is easy to play, and it makes Monster Energy Supercross even more exciting. So make sure you sign up and start today.
Everything you thought you knew about off-road vehicles is about to be redefined. Introducing the world's first and only pure sport side-by-side, the all-new YXZ 1000R from Yamaha. With a high-performance 3-cylinder engine, 5-speed sequential shifting, and long-travel Fox suspension, the world of off-road sports side-by-sides has shifted forever.
Sponsored by Yamaha. From world-leading motocross, supersport, and cruiser motorcycles to ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and more, Yamaha revs your heart.
Oakley is proud to be the official eyewear sponsor of Monster Energy Supercross. Follow us at Oakley Motorsports and at Oakley on Instagram and Twitter. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute wants to give you a 2016 Kawasaki Terex 4LE side-by-side. Go to www.winthatride.com to enter for your chance to win.
DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of 2016 Monster Energy Supercross. DC, defying convention since 1994. Check out our latest products at journeys.com.
AMSOIL, let nothing stand between you and a great day of riding. Protect your weekend. Choose AMSOIL synthetic lubricants for your bike and your truck.
And welcome back to Race Day Live from Petco Park in sunny San Diego. We have 250B qualifying action on track right now. Track is in perfect condition, Jim Hawley.
It's excellent. I mean, like we talked about earlier in the show, with that little bit of rain we had last night, the Feld track crew opted not to cover it with plastic because, like we saw last week in Anaheim, they had to add some water to it. So they actually added water last night. They got a little bit of rain.
Right.
I don't think they need to do anything to just kind of groom it out a little bit, and it's going to be great as we're seeing the 250 qualifier going out right now.
Yeah, Jim, it's funny. We all stay at the same hotel, the Feld crew does, and I saw some of those guys, and I was like, did you guys cover the track? And they were like, nope, it's going to be just fine. So, yeah, they knew what they're talking about.
Yeah, they got it down to a science. I mean, they know exactly how much it's going to rain, and they knew exactly how much water they needed to put it in the track. So it worked out perfect as we're getting a chance to see. I believe that was now you're getting a first look at the overall track here at Petco Park. And like I said, what a beautiful stadium. There you can see where we're at, way out in center field, actually towards left field a little bit, but just a great facility here.
A lot of 90-degree corners, Jim Hawley.
I like 90-degree corners.
Keeps the speed up, keeps the momentum up. Here's a big 180 bull turn. A little bit of a dragging back section into this triple here.
That triple, like I said, you come down into there, you make that turn there as we're seeing number 92, and I believe that's Ryan Brees out there. And he had a little problem in that free practice with Ken Zarandicott there. They were having some words after that practice.
And they weren't friendly words. That's going to happen, though. And, I mean, the stakes are higher every year. Everybody takes this sport so seriously. And, when you're out there in practice, if somebody messes up your line or messes up your lap, you're going to let them know about it.
And now you're getting a chance to look at Scott Champion there. And Scott Champion putting in a pretty good ride last weekend, if I'm not mistaken there. And see where he finished up.
He's number 2 on the board so far right now. 53.4. So the lap times, I'm going to guess once these guys get heated up and get rolling, about, 8 to 9, 10 seconds slower than last weekend. Obviously, the long section of whoops is going to slow them down quite a bit. But they're getting through them pretty good. I was on track walk with Davey Millsaps, and I said, man, the whoops are huge. And he's like, nah.
He's okay with it. Those 450 guys, their suspensions, we're seeing 6:33 left. But getting back to Scott Champion, I talked to him a little bit earlier, and yeah, he was upset. He didn't make that main event, and he made a lot of main events last year, and he should be in the main event. So we'll see if he can rebound here in Petco Park.
And with 6 minutes to go, it is Scott Champion, followed by Michael Lee, Brian Breezy, Killian Auberson, and Bracken Hall. That's your top 5.
And then you look behind there, there's Ken Zarandicott. So Ken Zarandicott making his debut in Supercross this year, along with Zach Cummings. I believe Zach Cummings is in the next practice in the C qualifying group. We'll have to see how he does.
Speaking of making their debut in Supercross, Australia's Hayden Melrose rode his first Supercross last weekend in Anaheim at the season opener and finishes 11th. Now that's a statement right there.
Well, and I think he's got the right tools. You said you talked to Timmy Ferry earlier. Right. Timmy Ferry helping him out, and Timmy's done a great job with Trey Kennard and a lot of these young riders. I mean, you need a guy like that to come on board to help you out. But yeah, phenomenal. And I look for bigger and better things from him. I look for him to make that step into the top 10. Maybe he can get a 7th and 8th, and then maybe go back to Anaheim where he you know, he knows that facility. He's already been there.
Yep.
Maybe he can get in that top 5.
He's actually going to join us on Race Day Live later, so hope you folks stay tuned to catch up and hear from him and see what that experience was like. But for now, I want to welcome all of our international viewers for joining us. Lots of international viewers last weekend. I want to welcome everybody from Germany, everybody from Australia, obviously, England, all over the world.
Yeah, Juice Lansu from Estonia, he texted me, he was listening in last week and stuff, and he said, you know, great show. And one of the guys, Patrick from Sweden, he's actually coming over. He says, you know what, I listened to you guys, you got me all revved up. He's coming to the final one here at Petco Park on February 13th. So I said, hey, we'd love to have you to come out. So him and Max are coming out,
great.
Mills, so they'll have a good time. And one of the guys having a little problem right there, that's 383.
That's Casey Brennan. Looks like he's okay. Just trying to get that tough block off of his axle bolt.
Yeah, I can remember back when I used to ride, they had, you know, the pennants and the streamers. Whenever you ran into them, you got them in your brakes. Your rear brakes didn't work. But with these nice tough blocks they got, you know, they don't get into your brake system. And I think it's a safety thing that the Feld Motorsports people, you know, said, hey, look, let's get rid of those pennants.
Well, you know, we've seen some crashes that when guys they slammed on top of a tough block, like Andrew Short last year. After he ripped off that whole shot, remember he went over the bars? Thank goodness he landed on a tough block instead of, you know, a hay bale or, you know, nothing, like you said when you raced with the normal pennants.
I remember some guys, they would have them dragging, and I'd be falling, could get around your neck, give you a burn on your neck, and just say, yeah, do away with those pennants.
Yeah. With about 3 minutes to go, it is Michael Lee, Bracken Hall, Scott Champion, Killian Auberson, and Ryan Breezy rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, good to see Michael Lee out there at the top there.
Beautiful venue here at Petco Park. We're downtown. We got the city view in the background. We're going to show you that view in a little bit. But I just love coming to this venue. It's really fun.
Yeah, new ride for Scott Champion this year. They're on the Suzuki. Suzuki putting a lot of effort in that 250 class. I know last year he rode a Yamaha, but he's up on a Suzuki this year. And like he said, he wants to get that Suzuki in the main event, Scott Champion.
And with time running out, top 5 still stays pretty much the same. A lot of fireworks last weekend, Jim Hawley. A lot of guys getting out front early in the heat races.
Well, not just the fireworks at the stadium, right? The fireworks on the track.
On the track.
Look at that. There's the blimp.
That life blimp. There's Scott Champion. Still running in 3rd place there. Looks pretty good. Like you said, he really wants to get that bike into the main event. All these guys do, of course. It's a tough road to hoe, though. I bet you the track looks pretty cool from up there.
Yeah, you can see everything from up there. Snoopy's got a bird's eye view. Some of the guys coming in, just you know, they know that this 250 Group B kind of winding down here. They got 1:40 to go, and you'll see him just kind of start to roll a few things and maybe change if we're getting a chance to watch Michael lead now, number 85 there. Let's watch how Michael, there's that triple there, and drops down in. And
51.8. That was a good lap.
Not a bad time for him.
Good to see him back. You know, he had a bad broken leg last year. Long comeback story. Remember when he joined us on Race Day Live here at Petco Park?
Well, and the other thing too is good to see him that, you know, like you said, it's very hard for a lot of guys to get sponsorship dollars. I know he's always been chasing that, and it's good to see he's got some good backing behind him. There's that 65-foot triple. They're heading right into home plate now and then going down the first base side.
Really can't hope for better track conditions for a Supercross. You know, when we were walking back from dinner last night, it was raining pretty good, and I was a little nervous. I was like, man, you know, the weather forecast didn't have this, and I just watched them water the track a bunch, and it's raining. So it's good to see the track's in perfect condition. The ruts look awesome.
Well, you see a little bit of ruts, but, you know, after all the qualifying, they'll smooth all that out. Yeah. There might be a few ruts developing, you know, by main event time. The thing I'm curious about is the whoops. As we're looking, I can't see that rider's number there,
Cupped
but
out, yeah.
he went across there pretty good. Ryan Brees right there, 92. He got it through the whoops pretty good, but it's kind of a bit, ran it in there a little deep, up and over that triple.
Good corner. Nice and smooth.
See him downshift there in the air. He downshifted there. Getting ready to come over the Monster Energy finish line right there. It kind of looks back. He's seeing, hey, anytime a rider comes over that and looks over there. And
thinks he had a good lap.
Yeah, and he doesn't see him on the top 5 on the Monster Energy leaderboard out there. He's a little bit bummed out. But not this guy. He's up on the top of that leaderboard. Michael Lieb on that Yamaha.
Followed by Scott Champion on his Yamaha, and then Bracken Hall. Chase Marquier, a rookie, in 4th, and Killian Albertson rounding out the top 5. So a couple of Yamahas, a couple of Hondas, and a Suzuki there in the top 5 for 250B qualifying number 1. Yeah, 51.8. 51.8 there by 250B. Let's say
definitely get you in the top 40 tonight.
Yeah,
he's in.
We'll be in the high to mid 40s by the end of the night, I think, for the 450A group.
The interesting thing is the next time they come out for their final qualifying time in the 250B class to see if Michael Lieb can drop that time down and possibly get into the 50s, the high 50s. Beautiful shot there. You see all the condos in the background.
I love this venue, right. And we talked about the fireworks off the track and the fireworks on the track. And obviously the big storyline this week was Weston Pike and Vince Friese getting into a little bit of a lot of fisticuffs. Little bit.
Well, Weston Pike more than Friese.
Yeah, it was a little one-sided, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at that action from last week and kind of relive that madness.
Well, you're going to see right here, you know, Weston Pike's there and Friese right behind him there. And
this was the second time they got together, so you could tell the number 28.
Yeah, Weston, probably enough after that first one. He's upset, but he was just going, what's up with that? Tries to push him over. He hits the Thor tough block, and Vince was just trying to get back to his bike. You know, he just said, hey, I want to. But you got to remember that these guys have had history for a long time, but, you know, they're both good guys. I mean, it's just, you know, he was upset, though. You could clearly see Weston Pike was upset. Crazy.
And, you know, it's just one of those deals, you know. They had the altercation in the heat race. It wasn't just the one incident. It was the both of them. So by the time, you know, when Weston looked up and saw the number 55, all he saw was red after that.
Well, I think the thing that really set him off was they were both in a transfer spot. That's when I was racing. That's when I'm, hey, if I'm not in a transfer spot or something, I mean, I really don't want someone coming underneath me and taking me out. But they were both in the main event.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had a chance earlier, you know, to talk to Coy Gibbs, the owner. I kind of want to get the owner's perspective on this, and it's pretty interesting.
Absolutely. Let's check it out.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live, brought to you by AMSO. I'm here with Coy Gibbs, the owner of the JGR Yamaha Toyota team, Monster. Got a lot of logos up there now.
We like logos.
I got to ask you, last weekend at the opener, no secret, you know, Weston Pike, what happened there? I just kind of your thoughts, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Vince Friese even filled in a couple years ago for you in a race or two.
Yeah, no, that was unfortunate, I think, for everyone. I mean, I talked to Tony today. Both said the same thing. It just, you know, didn't help either party, that's for sure. I've worked with Vince in the past. I love Vince, great guy. But, you know, it's, you know, not condoning anything Weston did, but leading up to that first race, they put a lot of work in. And he feels like he took him out twice, then, you know, he obviously snapped. And I'm sure, I know Weston was sorry about what he did. So we're just looking to get him back here at the track for sure.
And these guys are friends. I mean, they train at the same gym. They see each other and everything. It's just like you said. It's one of those deals where it's the first race, everybody's put in the time, they're just gun-ho and they're just pulling the trigger and trying to make it happen. The thing that is they were both in a transfer spot. That's what would even fire me up more than anything. Hey, if you're in the back of the pack and you're not going to transfer out of that and you're going to go to the last chance, that's fine or whatever. But they both had a transfer spot and they both ended up not going to the main.
Yeah, no, it was unfortunate for sure. You know, nothing good came out of it. I think hopefully we can get Weston back here in a week and start hammering down. I know he's been riding good, so I'm excited to get him out here.
Sponsored by Yamaha. From world-leading motocross, supersport, and cruiser motorcycles to ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and more, Yamaha revs your heart.
Oakley is proud to be the official eyewear sponsor of Monster Energy Supercross. Follow us at Oakley Motorsports and at Oakley on Instagram and Twitter. To enter for your chance to win.
DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of 2016 Monster Energy Supercross. DC, defying convention since 1994. Check out our latest products at journeys.com.
AMSOIL. Let nothing stand between you and a great day of riding. Protect your weekend. Choose AMSOIL synthetic lubricants for your bike and your truck.
And we're back live at Petco Park here in sunny San Diego. You know, that was cool to hear from Coy. A lot of people will be like, well, what's Weston Sponsors going to say? What is an organization like Coach Gibbs and Coy? What is their perspective on that? And
well, I mean, you know, I think Coy answered a lot of good questions for me. I mean, the thing about it is Weston Pike's not here racing. That's the big thing, and they want him in that top 10. But they brought my old buddy back from the, you know, up there in the Northeast there, Phil Nicoletti out of New York.
Yeah.
He's filling in. So number 34 today, we'll get a chance to see how Phil Nicoletti does. And, you know, it's very hard for a guy like Phil, even though you're testing and you're riding and things like that, to get thrown in for a one-race thing and try to get that bike in the main event. So we'll see how he does here. But we're getting a chance now. Behind us, we're looking at that 250C. And Zach Cummings making his debut. He had to come through the AMSOIL Arena Cross last weekend. I know he rode and got enough points to come back in, so it's good. So, but you know what? That piece with Phil Nicoletti, let's take a look at it because I thought it was great.
Phil, let's check it out.
I'm a big Phil Nicoletti fan, and Phil's filling in now this weekend in San Diego.
Yeah, I think it's always hard. I mean, we love Phil, and we definitely have him for outdoors full time, and we have him fill in Supercross. It's kind of, I think it's really hard on him and probably unfair because you really don't hit a rhythm. You know, you're in, out, in, out. But we're excited to have Phil because we don't have to go search for another rider. We can fill 2 riders for our sponsors, and you know, I think it makes a difference for them for sure.
And we're back on track, 250C.
And you see the red, white flag with the red cross. That means they got to roll over there. You can see the flashing lights out there. One of the riders went down, and they got about 4 minutes to go still left in this one, but Cummings drops back down, and we got a new leader.
Yeah, we do. Number 815, Iker Laringer.
See Brock Shoemaker up there in third. Hale Russell.
Bradley Lyonnais, Tyler Custer. But you know, that program that Gibbs has with Nicoletti, you know, that's pretty cool. It must be frustrating for Phil to not be able to start every weekend. But as it's worked out last year with Barsha getting hurt, Nicoletti got a lot of track time. And here we are 2 rounds in, and he gets called off the bench.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think last week or last year we saw the same thing.
Yeah, with Barsha.
At San Diego, you know, he was filling in.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, Phil's just happy to be here. I mean, you know, let's face it. I mean, he likes to be out here, and, you know, we'll see. Maybe Weston will be in the pits today signing autographs. I don't know. We'll have to go down and see if he's there. We'll have Myra go check it out for us.
But Phil, you know, he's feisty, and the thing about him is he gets excellent starts. I mean, he hole shots almost everything he's in. So
now, is that shot from the blimp? Because that's a beautiful shot.
That's the whole track.
Can't see that number, Andy. I'm going to have you see if your eyes are a little better than mine. I know he's on a Kawasaki there.
Yeah. Sending the triple nice and smooth. Track looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to ride the whoops, but triples look good. A couple of those rhythm sections I think I'd like to ride on, but that's just the thing. You know, these guys are the best in the world at riding Supercross. even in the C group, those guys are so fast. If you were to go to these guys' practice track and watch them ride, they'll look like the fastest guy in the world. You know, the talent level is thick all the way through every group. I give these guys more respect than any athletes in the world.
Yeah, it's just the pressure of the day. You know, you get here and, you know, you have your familiar surroundings when you're out practicing. You're comfortable, things like that. And that's the hardest thing for these guys in this C group is to get comfortable out there and get their bike set up the way they want it to be set up.
You don't have a lot of time to do it either. You know, it's a technical track. You got to get everything dialed in a short amount of time. So you kind of got to send it. You got to go for it. Go for the rhythms. You got to try to skim the whoops and not a whole lot of time.
A lot of shadows here. You see that,
Yeah.
Andy? We're
Sun's coming
shaded
up.
in some of the spots. Some of the spots where that sun's shining, you know, it's going to dry out a little faster than some of the other ones.
Beautiful day here in San Diego.
Minute to go. I stand to be corrected. That was not the blimp. I thought that was the blimp shot, but that was another camera we got. But needless to say, that was a beautiful shot looking down on the track.
It gave you a good view of the longest left-hander in Supercross history. You know, after the checkered flag, it goes into kind of a tight left-hander. You rock it down the straightaway. It's still bending to the left. And then, you know, another 90-degree into a rhythm section. I was actually talking to Chad Reed on Track Walk about that section, and he said, you know, that's a good place to make some passes. The bikes are so good nowadays. You can hold them down instead of drifting up. You can hold them down and get underneath guys and set up a good block pass right there.
Yeah, and that's a perfect shot of the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore starting gate that we just saw right there. But like you had said, that, and I thought last week too, you got to remember last week in those heat races, we saw Kenny Rocks and a bunch of guys get into each other. We saw some crashes, and we also saw a restart, a red flag.
In the main event.
You know, in the main event. So, I mean, things change. You know, you got to kind of adapt to the situation that's developing. See up there in that Oakley tower, that's where all the mechanics are, and they get a bird's eye view and they can check everything.
Checker flag is out. Number 815, Iker Laringer. Carlos, we're not getting the full last names on our, so you're going to have to forgive us here for not giving it. And it's Zachary Comans in third, Brock Shoemaker, and Bradley Lyonnais in the top 5.
Yeah, good times for him. I mean, a
54.1,
54.1, a 54.2, a 54.3, a 54.7 for Brock Shoemaker. So not bad. I know Frenchie's going to be happy up there.
And all you viewers are going to be happy to know coming up next, we have the 250A qualifiers. Going to get to see Cooper Webb, going to get to see Christian Craig, going to see Joey Savacci, Zach Osborne, Alex Martin. It's, you know.
Well, and you mentioned Joey Savacci. I mean, Savacci in that free practice had a hard get off. So
he jumped back up, but he did go down pretty hard.
I noticed he was holding his side, though, when he was coming back, you know, after the checker flag. He was a little bit sore, Savacci there, number 37.
Right.
So we'll have to watch and see how he rebounds from that. But Savacci, I mean, you know, he had some good rides last year on that East Coast.
He did.
You know, he won a national, Unadilla last year in the outdoor, and had a lot of momentum coming into the season. I know he wasn't happy with that, you know, finish he had last week.
Yeah, or riding the West Coast. He trains out of Carmichael's farm in Florida there. Easier for him to travel. But the way things worked out with Tyler still getting back up to speed, Tyler Bowers and Arnaud Tonas getting back up to speed.
Yeah.
But we're going to get fired off here in a little bit.
Well, you're going to see here they're all kind of waiting at the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore starting gate there, and they're off. But one guy that we forgot to mention, Jimmy Dakotas, the fourth form, the best of his finish, and he was a guy that was slated for the East Coast, and Mike LaRocca said, hey, we need you on the West Coast. Some of our guys aren't healthy. We're going to have to flip you around, but he was really looking forward to Foxborough. That's his hometown track. But
so were his fans.
I told him, I said, hey, if you can be leading the points or right in the hunt and go to Foxborough, at least you got something to show. I said, we're going to put you on the show if you're at Foxborough. I'll get you on the show.
Come hang out. Mitchell Oldenburg jumping out front.
Holding down the fort for Troy Lee, his teammate there. Jesse Nelson unfortunately had a practice crash and not here competing.
Mitchell had a pretty good run last weekend, finishing in the top 10. He had to
not
earn
bad,
that ride
Mitchell.
last year. You know, it was kind of a tryout deal. And rode well enough to get on that team.
Yeah, he finished
Troy
ninth.
Designs, GoPro, Lucas Oil, KTM squad. There's Christian Craig. Christian can do it. Christian is just one of those guys that has unbelievable talent. And, you know, maybe a little bit of first race. Wow, that was fast. A little bit of first race jitters last weekend. Had a little bit of bad luck. But
well, his times were good. I mean, he qualified in third fastest last week, which was, you know, good for him. And I thought, wow, he's got a chance. But, you know, having problems, and like you said, to finish up, you know, I know he didn't want to finish up a 17th, but oh well, we'll have to, he's going to rebound here in San Diego. A lot of family and friends here to watch Christian Craig.
Right. His dad, a member of the El Cajon Zone. You know, in this 250 West, you know, Cooper seems to be, we've only been one round into it, so I got to be careful. But it just seems like sometimes in the 250 Western region, an alpha male emerges and dominates. You know, we go back to even when Jeff Matasevich in 1988 and 89, Jeff Matasevich will be honoring in the Legends and Heroes here tonight. You know, dominated. Jeremy McGrath, dominated.
Well, and some of the other guys have dominated in that 250 class here in San Diego. I mean, Greg Snell in 2000, Justin Buckaloo 01, James Stewart 02, 03, Ivan Tedesco 04, Nathan Ramsey, Andrew Short 06, Bill Apoto, Jason Lawrence in 08, Dungy in 9, Jake Weimer in 10, Eli Tomac in 2011, Dean Wilson 2012, Eli Tomac back in 2013, Justin Hill, who's riding the East Coast in 14, like you said, last year's winner, Cooper Webb.
There's Cooper. It's kind of funny. I've been calling him the Big Bad Wolf because he's so fast, he'll blow your house down. And Dave Prater, senior director of Supercross, texted me. He's like, "Did you start calling him that or what?" I said, "Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna stick, but I don't know. You don't mess with Cooper Webb. He's super aggressive. Obviously, he has speed."
Well, and see, here's the difference why this man is winning championships and races.
Aggressive.
He is racing the course right now in this qualifying prep. You see him, he's blowing by, looks up, takes a look over to the left to the leaderboard. He sees his number up there. He says, okay, I see Savachi behind me. And then you see the Geico Honda guy. So Cooper Webb, the fastest so far with a 49.9.
Absolutely. 6 minutes to go. Cooper Webb, Joey Savachi second, Jordan Smith third, followed by his teammate Christian Craig, and Mitchell Oldenburg rounding out the top 5.
Well, now we're getting a chance to look at Joey Savachi, but you saw Cooper Webb in there talking to his mechanic. Maybe he wants to make a few changes. He says, hey, I think if we change this, let's go out and see if I can better my lap time.
He's got a full second on everybody. He probably said, you know what? Feels pretty good. Who knows? Who knows? These guys always want more out of their machines, though. Always want to feel more comfortable. Want more positive feel in the front end. A lot of traction out there today, though, Jim.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I'm kind of a little bummed out. I mean, I'm happy I'm up here with you, Andy, but I'd like to go give it a run down there. I don't know if I'd be doing some of the timing sections that some of these guys are doing, but it feels good to grab a handful of throttle here at Petco Park.
I was just commenting on that a while ago, Jim. Looks like makes me want to go ride. There's Christian, jumps on, jumps off. Manuals, that's the second time I've seen him do that. It looks pretty. Manuals off that second jump off section.
Yeah, and he's second right now with a 50.6.
Crushed the whoops.
Osborne a 50.7, so just a tick behind there.
Let's see how good he gets this corner. Nice momentum. 2-2-3.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 450 triple out of that section because they got the torque. They can do it.
Especially while with number 7 on it.
Yeah. Now Christian Craig looking over. So that's the
jumps to the top.
When they look over, he sees that 38 up on the top of the Monster Energy leaderboard. He's going, all right, that's working.
Yeah. 49.8 to Cooper Webb's 49.9. Christian Craig jumps to the top of the leaderboard. Followed by Cooper Webb, Zach Osborne, Colt Nichols into 4th place. Good ride by Colt Nichols last weekend. Finished 7th overall. And Joey Savachi rounding out the top 5 with about 4 minutes to go in the first 250A qualifying session. There's Zach O. Zach's been around the 250 class a long time, you know.
Yeah, he's got to get some wins,
I think. He wants to win
one
of these things. Needs to get a start. He's healthy, no injuries. on a great bike. Looks good through there, nice and smooth.
You got to be careful on those step on and step off. You got to just time it just right, because if you go a little too far, that front end drops. You don't have the power to get back over that next thing. You got to kind of gather it up. He's on a hot lap here. Osborne, he's probably mad that he had to get underneath there. I'm not sure if 82 might have kind of held him up a little bit there. Let's see.
Good.
See if he looks around. Comes over, lands. See, he kind of takes a peek. Yeah. Everybody takes a peek over, looks left. He's still in third right there.
Cooper just finished up a lap.
Get a chance to see that was Webb's teammate there, Alex Martin, 26. But now we're on Cooper Webb.
A lot of momentum around that outside.
Get in the air, downshift. Just bang it down. I want to get back out on that throttle.
Jumped all the way over that section.
See how the whoops go here. Yeah. Goes the inside. You notice how he's protecting that inside line so no one can get underneath him there and still carrying that momentum through the whoops.
Shortest way around the corner, shortest distance.
Here goes the outside. See, it looks like
a little loose.
There's that triple right there. And triple into that corner with a little single, protect that inside line.
Left a couple tenths out there, but let's see if he goes to the top of the board.
I don't know if that one's going to do it. I just think he made a few little bobbles that might have cost him a 10 here, 10th there. That Christian Craig's still up on top of that leaderboard with a 49.8. Webb, like you said, with a 49.9, and Mitchell Oldenburg putting in a great qualifying session at a 50.1. Zach Osborne behind him with a 50.2, and Joey Savacci in that fifth spot with a 50.3.
Now through the top 10 is Jordan Smith, Colt Nichols, James Dakotas, Chris Aldridge, Alex Martin in 10th place.
Minute 54 to go here in this first of the Group A qualifying session. Trying to see this rider here. What number is that?
941. That's Maxime Desprez.
Yeah, out of France there. David Villemin working with him. And not a bad.
Excellent manual there.
Unfortunately, did not make that main event for Maxwell, but maybe here in San Diego. No, David Villemin's won here before in San Diego.
2000. First career 250cc victory. You know, it'd be good to get David on the show. One of the most knowledgeable guys in the sport. Has an opinion about everything, whether you like it or not. It's his opinion, and I'd love to talk to David.
Looks like Webb might be on a heater here trying to 45 there. Kyle. That's Kyle Cunningham.
On the new Motorcycle Superstore Suzuki team. Excellent to see a new Suzuki team back in the sport.
Yeah, I know Kyle wasn't happy with that 19th that he finished last weekend.
He should be a podium guy. He's been around a long time, has a lot of speed. I think he's on a capable bike.
Wow, that was huge going through there for Mitchell Oldenburg and the whoops there.
Christian showing the style. About 30 seconds to go. Let's see if Cooper jumps to the top of that lap. And no.
Yeah.
Christian Craig remains the fastest, followed by Webb, Oldenburg, Osborne, and Savacci. That's it.
There's a time.
Checkered
Christian
flag
Craig
is out.
holding.
Yep. A sub 50, him and Cooper Webb. 49.8. 49.9 for Cooper Webb second. Mitchell Oldenburg third. Fourth place, Zach Osborne. Fifth place is Joey Savacci. Round out the top 10. Jordan Smith, Colt Nichols, Jimmy D, Mitchell Harrison. Mitchell Harrison jumping into the top 10 there, the rookie. And Chris Aldridge rounding out the top 10. Followed by Alex Martin. I'm pretty impressed with Mitchell Harrison. You know, you got these kids coming out of Loretta Lynn's and running the AMSOIL Arena Cross Series, jumping into Supercross. Obviously obviously, you know, attracted the attention of Bobby Nichols at Star Racing Yamaha. Gave him a good bike, and he's delivering right now, putting in the main events and top 10 in the 250A class.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys that are coming through the Loretta Lynn's, and, you know, there's guys like I know Mike Guerin, Donnie Luce, and everybody, you know, and the Team Green guys, and also the KTM guys. Everybody's kind of looking at those guys. If we can get them early, like Austin Faulkner, you know, get them early and start getting them into that routine and stuff. Chase Sexton, you know, then that transition isn't so, you know, it isn't so steep when they get into the pro races. But you know, something else, the Amsoil Arena Cross, though.
Fired off
last weekend, yeah. I mean, Gavin Faith with a 2-3 got the overall. His teammate there, Jacob Hayes, finished up second. He had a 5-1. And then the old veteran there, Chris Blows, he had a 4-4. But good start to the Amsoil Arena Cross Series.
The track's awesome today. It's getting a little rutted. It's all about intensity out there. You can throw it on a fast lap, and you know, you see anybody get to the top. So, no, this is where I belong. Last week I kind of rode tight, and this is where I belong, right here up in the front.
I was just about to ask. Last week we saw that intensity coming from you, but it didn't work out in your favor. What do you come in with a mindset to tonight?
Tonight it's all about getting a start, staying up front, staying off the ground, obviously, and I'll put it all together.
Anything you're going to change between this qualifying and the next round?
No, bike is awesome, handling great. I feel good. And everything's clicking. That's what I'm happy about. So I got to go out and do it again next practice.
Well, we like the way it's clicking, and so did the lap times right there. Christian Craig, your fastest qualifier for her round number 1, number 38 Geico Honda rider, guys.
He is so positive.
Oh, you see Dungey there, and he got a good jump when he came out of the MX versus ATV Supercross on-course starting gate. He wanted to try to nail down a start, and that's why we're seeing him right out front here, the man who runs that number 1 plate.
Had a good ride last weekend, you know, with the field being as deep as it is, to see somebody come through the pack. I didn't think there were, you know, there's maybe 2 or 3 guys that can do that. Ryan, you know, coming in, usually starts his series a little bit conservative. Didn't look conservative last weekend. Looked super aggressive. Finished second place, and is going to be coming out for the win tonight.
Yeah, as we're seeing Cole Seeley right now, but getting back to a guy like Ryan Dungey, I think you're seeing, you know, that he now believes in himself. He believes he is the man. And when you're the man, you can move people around and you can ride aggressively. Before, I don't think he wanted to ruffle anybody's feathers, but he's okay ruffling feathers now.
17 podiums in a row for Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, the streak continues.
That's amazing. Well, Cole, you know, he was right there. He was a little bit of maybe, you know, David Pinger once told me he crashed while he was leading Anaheim the season opener one time, and I kind of gave him a rude email, and he sent me one back that was even more rude. He said, "Hey, buddy, until you've led Anaheim the season opener, you can't talk. It's a little bit of pressure out there."
Oh yeah, just a little bit. But I don't think that the pressure was, you know, for Cole Seeley. I think it's more of a thing with his shoulder. You know, that was his first race back in a long time. I just think that, you know, and you got to remember that, you know, when these guys are out at the Honda test track, Cole Seeley and everything, those tracks are pretty hard and dry.
Right.
Last weekend, it was soft and mungy. So when you got a shoulder injury and you catch a shoulder or something like that in the ruts, that kind of wears on you a little bit. But I think this track here is it's a little bit more, you know, harder packed than we saw last weekend in the opener at Anaheim. And I think that that's going to help out a guy like Cole Seeley with the shoulder injury that he has. And the other guy with an injury,
Justin
Barsha with that thumb injury, and he was kind of hiding it. You know, didn't want to tell anybody over, but he's battling a thumb, and it's the throttle hand. So he's trying to hold on different. He just pumped up, and I'm sure each and every week he'll get better, though.
And so will the guy on your screen right now, Marvin Muskin. Started his 450 career last weekend with I think he finished 18th. And he wants to do better than that. I think he will do better than that. Maybe had a little bit of jitters going on. But early on in the 450A, first qualifying is the man with the red plate. There he is, Jason Anderson. Feeling the confidence.
And he's wearing red gear. He's matching that number plate there.
You know, it was cool watching you talk to him on track walk, how mellow he is. You know, all these guys are kind of similar in their demeanor when they walk around. And Anderson just kind of seems like he's in his own little deal, you know. Not super high strung. Different, you know.
And he's investing his money right. You know, we were actually not even talking about
racing.
You know, the racing ring. We were talking about houses.
Yeah.
He's buying them and having his buddies and flip them, and he's the money guy behind him. I said, absolutely. I mean, you go out and buy boats and Ferraris and things like that. That's not going to make you any money. Those are going to depreciate. You know, he's buying houses, which is good, as we're seeing Eli Tomac now.
4th place. I wasn't surprised. I thought that was an excellent way to start his season.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I thought everybody kind of expect him to win or whatever, but hey, I think he started out the 2016 season just how he wanted to, as we see Barsha now. Hopefully that thumb's feeling a little bit better.
In the early going, it is Eli Tomac, Davey Millsaps, Jason Anderson, Ryan Dungey, and Ken Roxon rounding out the top 5. Davey Millsaps won San Diego twice, 2010, 2013. In a different venue over there at Qualcomm, but you know, sometimes the history books give you a little bit extra juice.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned a guy like Davey Millsaps, you know, getting the first win in 2013 for Suzuki. Now he's on a KTM. He can get the BTO Sports Forrest and everybody, you know, a win maybe
to that team too.
Yeah,
that was an unfortunate thing that happened to them. They were burglarized and their trailer was emptied out. So.
But they're on to the guy. They're going to get all that stuff back,
That's
I guarantee it.
This is a tight community.
There's Millsaps now that we talked about. You know, just, and I still can't believe the shadows you're seeing, Andy. It's just so hard to kind of ride in those conditions, but these guys are professional. They're the best in the world. They'll deal with it. There's Eli Tomac, that triple section we talked about with the 250Fs. Can't do that as we're on a lap here with Eli Tomac up and over the Monster Energy finish line here. He's going to look over and see if he's up on the top of the board. He's still up on the top of the board.
49.6.
And he dropped it down a little bit.
Got a 4/10 on the Dunge.
There's James
Jason
Stewart.
Anderson jumps up to a 49.7.
James Stewart kind of circling around. He's just going to roll the whoops right there, and he seems to be okay.
Sitting in 8th place so far.
Yeah.
Glad to see him make it to the race. Hard crash, unfortunate. You know, every racer has their own opinion on how that went down, and you know, Kevin Windham weighed in on social media and offered his opinion. Said it wasn't a clean job, and I agree with him. You know, I've been in that situation where where you're in the air and somebody cuts down in front of you, and there's really nothing you can do.
Well, the thing about it is, you know, you got to remember that Stewart was leading it, and going underneath him was. You know, making the pass was Anderson, and he was going to take him up high. And you're Dungey, you're third. You see that, you think, hey, I don't want to get up there. Those guys could fall down. So I'm just going to kind of go to the middle, the apex of the turn down low. They didn't expect Stewart. He saw out of the corner of his eye. He backed off the throttle as Anderson went by. He squared up and grabbed a big handful. As he grabbed that handful, came down. Him and Dungey met. It was just a racing incident.
Yeah, and I don't want to say James cut down on Ryan. James was trying to make a pass.
He doesn't have rear mirror. No. He doesn't know what Dungey's doing behind him. He can only look in front of him. And out of the corner of his eye, he saw Anderson going up, and he says, okay, I'm not going to shut the throttle off. I'm going to brake and let him commit past me, and I'm going to square back down underneath and grab a handful. He just didn't see. Once he did that, he saw that number 1 plate. He goes, oh, no.
Too late.
Too late.
We're glad he's okay. He's going to put on a show tonight. So with that gentleman right there, number 21,
that was a kicker. He might come in and talk to his mechanic. Hey, man, slow down that rebound. That last whoop I hit, man, just kicked me up and over. But there's that triple. See, that's the difference between a 250 and a 450. When you run it down into there, we're going to call that home plate. You make that left-hand turn there. They're able to grab a handful and triple out of that section. Anderson looking over. You're going to see everybody looking over. He's second now on the board, so that's good.
And with a little over 2 minutes to go, Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson. Actually, Ryan Dungey jumps into second. Eli Tomac, Ryan Dungey, Jason Anderson, Cole Seeley, Davey Millsaps rounding out the top 5.
Got a chance to talk last night at dinner with Justin Barsh, who was out with his girlfriend, Ruth Chris, having a steak, you know.
Nice.
He says, yeah, I'm feeling each and every day I'm getting a little better with my thumb. But, you know, you talked about it earlier in the show, Andy, with, you know, they're comfortable with their own racetracks, you know, and your thumb's probably not an issue, but then when you get to somewhere like you hit it, you jarred it or something, it re-aggravated it. So that's what he's dealing with as we're watching Mike Alessi now. And Mike Alessi, not a bad start to the season last weekend. I know he would have liked to have been up, but a 16th for Mike Alessi. He qualified in 18th. I'm sure that Tony Alessi says, hey, look, we got to work on our speed. We're 18th in the qualifying. We need to bump that up.
Oh boy, there he does it again. Look who's at the top.
Yeah, Christophe Pourcel.
And by 3/10. He's definitely got the speed for one lap, you know. Blows my mind.
Well,
you
and,
know, Eli
and each
Tomac
and every
Ryan Dungey,
weekend,
yeah.
Christophe Pourcel will have better and better finishes in that main event. Like I said, he's, you know, it's been 5 years since he's been in a Supercross. I mean, I know the 18th last weekend for him, he wasn't happy with it, but they were happy with his qualifying. Obviously, we see his qualifying now of 49.2. He's got that down. Now we need to work on just each and every weekend trying to build. And starts, yeah.
Yeah, if he gets a whole shot.
Yeah, supercrosslive.com pays him $1,500.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
Right. I think he'll go hard. If he gets a whole shot, he'll ride hard laps. If he starts 16th, I don't know.
Well, the key is to ride hard until you get to that point. If it's lap 12 or 13, don't throw it away leading it.
Get yourself
it's
a top
okay
5.
or a podium or whatever. Don't throw it away.
And it's still impressive, though.
Definitely smooth on a motorcycle, just like JMB, Jean-Michel Bale. He's going to come in. He wasn't happy. See, now that tells me right there, he just boycotted all those whoops.
Yeah.
That tells me if you're a rider or you're a trainer that, you know, I hated when I'm working with like the Japanese guys and stuff. They would always go around the whoop. Why are you going around the whoops?
Right.
Well, I'm tired. So Christophe
You're gonna have
Pourcel
to
went
hit him
around
20
the whoops.
times in
Yeah,
the main event.
you better get used to him. So,
Yep.
you know, he's probably not up to where he wants to be as far as
stamina,
and he'll work into it as we see him pulling off the track right now.
Checkered flag is out. Christophe Pourcel, the two Husky boys. Well, Eli Tomac splits them up. It's going to be Christophe Pourcel, Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson, Ryan Dungey, Cole Seeley rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, that was a 49.2 for Christophe. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if they can bring it down in that final.
You know, the top. It's going to be good to hear what Lurch has to say to Christophe. Bobby Hewitt's got to be happy. His boys are winning main events and winning fastest qualifiers. Obviously feel comfortable on their new machines. Let's hear what they have to say here in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like I said last weekend, I'm here to learn, you know, so hopefully tonight I can get some good start, be in the top 10 with those guys, and just keep learning. And you know, I'm here to learn for the first 5-6 race, and I think after that I'll be more comfortable because, like we said before, it's been 5-6 years that I haven't raced Supercross, so it's a long time.
You know, coming into the opening round of Supercross, for you, what was the most difficult? Was it physical? Was it mental? Was it just getting back into the groove?
The speed has always been there. You know, it's just being with the guys on the track, and you know, we all don't want to get hurt and don't want to crash, but you know, the track is so tight, so you know, you got to be aggressive, and you know, I can learn a lot from Jason because he's pretty aggressive on the track, and he won last weekend, so that's good.
Well, congratulations to you and your team. Fast qualify here out of the first section on the 377. Let's give it up for Christophe Pourcel.
Christophe Pourcel from across the big pond.
And it's time for our Rocky Mountain ATV MC Fantasy Insider segment. Now, look at the guys that were in the top 4 last weekend. Without Christophe Pourcel, we had Tomac, Anderson, Dungey, Seeley. I'm going to be looking to put those guys at the top of my fantasy team.
I think absolutely. I mean, if I'm picking it, and but I don't think it's time to go. And if you're playing the, you know, rmfantasysupercross.com, if you're in that fantasy league, I don't know if I'd take a guy like Christophe Pourcel.
But he could score you some serious points if he gets a good start.
Yeah, I don't know if he's. Yeah, I mean, maybe not quite yet, but it'll be interesting to see. I think each and every weekend he's going to get stronger and stronger, though, and I think by round 5, maybe you pick him as a pick.
Right. Stewart, not as fast as I thought he might maybe be, you know, kind of maybe easing into it a little bit.
I think Stewart's just doing what Stewart needs to do. It's just ease into it. You got to remember, he hasn't been on a bike all week.
Right.
I mean, he was off that bike. He's not going to learn how to forget how to ride it. He's not going to lose and get out of shape in a week, but he just needs to build a little confidence and get back.
Absolutely, I agree. And be sure to get your picks in at rmfantasysx.com. We're back live here, but we're going to have some words from our sponsors. We've got a long show coming up. We've got some special guests. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Yamaha. From world-leading motocross, supersport, and cruiser motorcycles to ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and more, Yamaha revs your heart.
Oakley is proud to be the official eyewear sponsor of Monster Energy Supercross. Follow us at Oakley Motorsports and at Oakley on Instagram and Twitter. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute wants to give you a 2016 Kawasaki Teryx 4LE side-by-side. Go to www.winthatride.com to enter for your chance to win.
DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of 2016 Monster Energy Supercross. DC, defying convention since 1994. Check out our latest products at journeys.com.
AMSOIL. Let nothing stand between you and a great day of riding. Protect your weekend. Choose AMSOIL synthetic lubricants for your bike and your truck.
Your journey to work, to play, to see places you've never seen before. It's not where you're riding, it's who you're riding with.
We're for guys who like to make things go faster, higher, farther. Guys who want to be the top tech, get the W, and stand on the podium. Teams want you. Riders need you. Because without you, the bike stays in the pit, and championships aren't won. Top motorcycle manufacturers help build MMI's programs so you can get the education you need to achieve success. That's why top teams hire MMI grads. We're for success, your success. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. To learn more, visit mmitech.edu.
Consistent clutch feel is vital to effective starts or to confidently maneuver around obstacles on the trail. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil was subjected to an extreme simulated start test. After 32 simulated race starts, AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil continued to deliver consistent clutch feel, and the clutch plates remain clean with no visible wear. AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil. Out front performance.
There's a lot of performance hidden in these tires. These tires are insanely good. Selected as a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. If this is what experts thought about Cooper tires, imagine what you'll have to say. They're impressive on all surfaces. Put Cooper tires on your car today.
I just woke up one day and it clicked, and I'm like, I'm not just gonna be someone that rode a dirt bike and that tried. I'm gonna become the best. To be the best, it takes sacrifice, it takes a dream and a drive.
Striving to be the best, it's super critical to have a strong team behind you and a strong motorcycle. Being the best is everything, you know, that's what you want. It's where you want to be.
It all just comes down to how much passion you have for the sport.
Bike is everything to be the best.
Never give up, chase your dream, and if you work hard now and you sacrifice and you do what you're supposed to do, you can live the rest of your life as a champion.
The Yamaha champion YZ450F and multi-champion YZ250F.
Rainbow Studios. Are you ready for more? MX vs. ATV Supercross Encore. The off-road legend returns with the next generation of graphics. Set yourself up with all new gear and bikes. Tear up the track in outdoor nationals and waypoint races. Meet up and explore in freeride. And for the first time ever, rhythm racing. Available now.
And welcome back to Race Day Live from Petco Park. Joining us right now is MX versus ATV Supercross Encore, Michael Manulo. Welcome to the show, brother.
How's it going, Michael? Good to be here.
Cool, man. Well, one of the coolest things about this game is the physics, how you can scrub, how it gets into the corners and skims the whoops. So that's where you guys did that. How did you do that?
Oh yeah, well it's been a long process. We've kind of had an engine existing, so we brought that forward, tuned it up, added a couple new things, and then we've of course had a lot of input over the years and such. As you guys know, Stefan Roncada works with us, so he gets a lot of input from the pro rider sides of things. So we've been able to tune it, and it's really just an evolving process. We're always trying to improve.
And your studios are down in Phoenix. That's where you're at. Stefan lives down there and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll see us for round 5.
Well, the thing that I like though is you know, everybody that works on that, everybody rides. They know a motorcycle. It's just not like they got a computer guy and says, hey, put these in. I mean, everybody enjoys motorcycle racing and riding, and I think that shows in the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore.
Yeah, we definitely. I've been a racer myself, of course, Steph. We have a lot of disciplines, everyone from just the casual weekend warrior to ex-pro racers. So.
Everybody like Phil Nicoletti right here on the track.
Oh, man, yeah. We need to talk to him about getting him in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he kind of has a special role where he comes off the bench. You know, if one of his teammates gets injured or suspended, which is the case right now, Phil Nicoletti jumps in. But Phil looks good right now. He sitting in 4th place.
Yeah, not bad for him. You saw the number 34 there, the Joe Gibbs Toyota Yamaha Monster Energy team there, and like you said, he is, you know, like a backup quarterback. You know, Joe Gibbs, former coach, Super Bowl winning coach of the Washington Redskins, says, you know, him and Coy got together and Jay Bone, and they said, look, we got to have a backup guy. And not only that, I mean, Michael, you know, your sponsorship. You pay for, you know, a team, and you want 2 riders out there. So, you know, and so we need to have 2 riders, so let's get Phil off the bench.
I think it's a great opportunity, Phil and Ryder, you know.
There's another guy that didn't make that main event, had the problems last week with Weston Pike, Vince Freeze there.
Top of the
some
board.
Pretty good time. Yeah, he went to the top there. And Nicholas Schmidt in that second. Alex Ray, good to see Alex Ray rebounding back from last week. I know that Brian, you know, talked to me earlier on the track walk and said, look, we just got to get our times up, and Alex Ray sitting in 3rd right now with that 53.0. What do you think of the track here at Petco Park? Just a beautiful facility here downtown.
This is the 2nd year I've been here. This stadium and venue is one of the nicest, most picturesque. We had a little bit of rain last night, but the track looks amazing. The dirt looks amazing.
Hey, can you give us a little insight on when you're working with Stefan Roncada? How is he? I mean, I know how he is as a rider, but how is he working? Does he get upset when he's trying to does he speak French a lot when he gets pissed off?
Oh, man, we tell Steph, speak English. Oh. No. Steph is awesome. He's a super hard worker. He's the most passionate, driven worker. You know, of course, you got to be that right in pro Supercross, but he carries it forward into his video game career.
What can we see? I mean, we tried to prod it out of him last week, but he was kind of tight-lipped about what we could see in the future from MX versus ATV Supercross Encore. What's next down the pipeline?
Well, I've been a little bit preempt, so I'm allowed to say we are working on the Xbox One port.
Oh, okay.
Getting that coming out. We'll have a release date coming out soon.
Oh.
We're also working on some downloadable content, some new tracks and environments, and we have all the OEM vehicles going to be released here.
Well, look at Vince Freeze up on the top of that board there as this one finishes up here in this Group B in the 450 class. And good to see Freeze and Nick Schmidt, Alex Ray, Phil Nicoletti up there in that top 4. And like you said, a 51.7 for Vince Freeze. I think that's a great time. And, you know, he kind of wants to put everything that happened last week behind him also.
Absolutely. And Vince Freeze, he's fast. You know, he was fast last weekend. He gets good starts. He's going to be at the front. And obviously he just proved it. He just proved it by topping that session right there. And for better or worse, he's going to be at the front of probably one of these heat races or semis. And hopefully, I wish him the best of luck. You know, he's a fast guy, and you can't hide talent. And hopefully, he does well.
His starts too are on point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he always gets good starts. But we want to take a closer look at this track from your perspective that you created for our hot lap. So take us around the track here at Petco Park for round 2.
We'll do. Well, this is actually one of our tracks, one of our DLC tracks. This is a little back and forth, just helmet cam to third person. I think we're going to get back to the main lap here.
I like the sections of the track that you can see, you know, the rolling sections, the triples, everything, how they square off and everything. There's a starting line drop there, and I like all the guys alongside of you going down into that first turn.
Oh, as you know, the start is one of the most intense parts of the race. We try and capture that. Of course, in first person, it doesn't get any closer to real than that.
Jump on, jump off there.
Yeah, a little inside line.
Stayed to the inside, didn't want to leave the door open for the guy behind him to take him out.
A little on off. We got a wheel tapper jump coming up here.
Yeah.
And then
do we see any of that? If you leave the door open, does one of the guys come in and take the front wheel out? We see some of that on here?
Oh, absolutely. I kind of broke away here. I'm in the lead. Got a little whiskey throttle off that jump.
Well, you got an advantage, though. You designed it.
Oh, boy, there's a joke in the studio that we're usually the worst at our own tracks.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, but that said, I probably have 1,000 or so laps.
I like the precision on the step on, step offs. You know, you grab a handful throttle, you keep the bike straight and everything, and this is almost like you're in real life.
Oh, yeah. And one of the things we try to strive for in the track design is multiple rhythms, multiple options. Always that give and take, especially, you know, like you said, open the door for passing.
Well, and when you come up short, you don't get hurt.
Yeah, this is the best benefit. A little scrub over the finish.
Is it hard to get the bike to do that when you're making the graphics and everything? I mean, talk a little bit about the technical side of things. How do you actually get that bike to whip to the left or the right or scrub off?
Yeah.
This is definitely a team effort, but that said, our tools are just pretty amazing. We can kind of tune and tweak things on the fly. So, you know, we do a lot of play testing, a lot of just actually in real-time live tuning. For instance, you're talking about the whips and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's also a different, you want the 2 strokes, for instance, to handle different than 4 strokes.
Right.
So we have certain goals that we try and hit. But at the end of the day, it needs to be fun. It needs to be intuitive and fun.
Well, and I think you and Stefan and all the guys down at the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore have done that. I got a chance, Stefan brought by a video, and I got a chance to have some fun with it. But I got to tell you, man, my thumbs, man, I did a lot of crashes and stuff when I was doing it. Yeah, I'm bad on the thumbs.
So you and Stefan obviously race each other.
Yeah.
Who's faster?
Oh, boy. Oh, I got the mic, so I'm faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear. And then when Stefan's on and when he comes on again later on, he'll say he's faster.
Yeah.
Maybe we got to get something set up. We'll talk to Teresa Hayward, our producer. Maybe we can't get something on there where you and Stefan can have a race or something.
Now we're talking.
That's just great. You know, you got to be looking forward to round 2. I know you watched round 1 last weekend, and as far as podium predictions go, who do you predict for the podium?
Oh boy, I'm a fan of Anderson, so I'm just gonna roll with him. Can I kind of cop out? I'm gonna go with the Honda.
Okay.
Sealy or Kennard.
Right.
Can't decide there. And then let's give
Kennard won last year here, so I mean, you give him the edge.
That's right. And he was on fire last weekend. Third spot, let's go to Vet. I'm going to have to give a toss-up between Reed and Stewart. Again, I'm showing my fanboy there.
Good picks.
Those are excellent picks. How about the 250 class?
Again, fanboy here, Cooper Webb.
Yeah.
Going to go with him. Jesse Nelson. Hope he's riding?
He got hurt.
No.
Not riding. And I don't know if he'll be back next weekend. Hopefully he will, but unfortunate for Jesse Nelson fans.
I missed out on that. Boy, and then, 250 class is always open. It's hard to pick. That's the hardest class to pick for sure.
Right. Well, MX versus ATV Supercross video game is now available for the PlayStation 4. We can pick up the game at Amazon or Walmart or GameStop. Michael Manuel, we want to thank you for joining us on Race Day Live. Congratulations on your video game. It's awesome. I've been playing it at home. I got to get a little better before I step up to want to battle you in Roncada. But My goal is to just beat this guy. As long as I can beat Jim, I'll be happy.
Well, I think
I can give you a couple pointers.
Yeah, definitely off camera. Give me some pointers because my thumbs don't work that well.
I will do.
Okay.
The little kids are good at it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go back on track with action here in Petco Park, round 2. 2016 Monster Energy Supercross and FIM World Championship. 450C qualifying. We have Philip Klakow, 422, leading him around with the 56.3.
At 422 is Adrian, I believe that's Roman. Adrian Roman out there. Doing a good job out there. And, you know, the thing about it, Andy, is you look at this final qualifying session for Group C here in the 450. Only 11 guys out there. So that's pretty good if you're in the C group, man. You got a lot of opportunity to just kind of, you don't have to be around anybody. You know, normally there's a lot of people around you and everything kind of make you nervous. But here I kind of like it that, you know, you got this whole big track here at Petco Park, and yet you got 11 guys out there, which is nice for these guys.
Right. Track's still holding up. Yeah, casing. Yeah.
Little short, 192. Who was that? That's 192 out there. Came up a little short.
Benny Williams. Casing the finish line bad.
Is that 846 out there on my eyes, Andy? Like I said, I don't have my glasses on. 846.
That's Jason Cooper.
Cooper not looking too bad, you know. Jason Cooper there, not bad. Sitting in that 5th position. It'll be interesting to see if, you know, if we stay on Cooper here, if we, after this jump here, let's see. This is where a lot of the bigger guys are hitting that triple. Oh, he came up a little short on the double. And see how he automatically had to grab the brakes and every slow down. It just throws your rhythm off if you come up short in those rhythm lanes.
Once again, we want to thank Michael Mamula for coming on here and joining us. That was a good time. He's got a great game. I want to thank him for sponsoring Race Day Live. MX versus ATV Supercross Encore.
Yeah, they sponsor the starting gate, which is nice.
That's a good thing to sponsor, man.
Yeah, that's where it all starts.
Jeff Emmett key to the race. But I'm still, you know, I'm pretty impressed with the top 5 in the 450A qualifying, with Porcel, Seeley showing up again, Tomac being in there. You know, pretty much the podium. Dungy fast again. It's going to be a good race. I think that we're going to see a lot of passing. The whoops, you know, they're getting through the whoops easier than I thought they would, but they're going to get cupped out, and guys are going to be going faster through there than others. So.
Yeah, and also Benny Williams goes to the top there with a 56.0, and in relation to Stefan Roncada's 49.2. So a little bit off. Hopefully that 56, actually now he dropped it down to 55.2. So hopefully that'll get him in the 40 fastest and get him into with the, you see there, the Monster Energy finish line there, about just a little under 4 minutes to go here in this practice. So maybe a few guys, maybe Todd Bannister can pick it up a little bit. Bannister sitting there at 55.9, which is not a bad time also.
Not bad at all. Once again, if you're just tuning in, we want to thank everybody for joining Race Day Live here at Petco Park. We want to thank all of our international viewers very much for tuning in to supercrosslive.com. So, and get ready to see a show tonight. Round 2. Round 1 was amazing, crazy. All those adjectives all apply. So I don't see why round 2 isn't going to be any different.
Nah, it's going to be, all 17 rounds are going to be great.
Uh-huh.
I think this year in 2016.
And, you know, qualifying times are qualifying times. But, you know, Kennard and Porcel were the fastest qualifiers last weekend. And Kennard finished 7th and Porcel finished, I think, 18th.
Well, so. And out of the rookies, you know, you mentioned Bogle. and Mooskin and Christophe Porcel, rookies in that 450 class. Yeah, I mean, they're putting in some good times, but, you know, the sophomore last weekend, Jason Anderson, I think Jason Anderson last year left a little bit out on the table. I think that, you know, he started out the season strong with the 2nd.
Yep.
And then, you know, finished up, you know, the season without a win, which was unfortunate. I know he wanted to try and get a win in his rookie season, and, you know, finished up 7th in the point standing, so I know that he wants to try to build on that.
It's a long championship. You know, when we talked to Chad Reed at the press conference, I was like, what's your attack? Are you coming in heavy? Are you going to let things kind of work themselves out, and then go for it after Daytona, because like Ricky Carmichael always said,
After Daytona.
After Daytona. And as Ryan Dungey proved last year, you know, he was fast. He won 8 races. He was on the podium 16 out of 17 races, but he just got better the longer the championship went on. And I think that approach is going to apply to the champion this year as well.
Yep, absolutely. So we're getting a chance to see Benny Williams now. He's up on that top of the Monster Energy leaderboard.
Yeah.
Around in the corner here. Here he is in the whoops. He's kind of getting through him. Not too bad, not too bad. There's that shot I like. You get a chance to see the whole track right there. And that's that time, that rhythm section we talked about, 3-3-3. On the bottom of your screen right there.
Yeah, as soon as this one's over, they're going to have a track walk, and they're going to work on the track a little bit in some of those places. Probably take those ruts out right there, put a little water down. Now, who would have thought that last night when we were coming home from dinner and getting rain on our heads?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit in some of the corners here, but I think that with all the shadows that we're seeing out on the track, I think that's going to help those sections. So obviously, when you put down the water, you want to put it in the the sunshine area, because that's what's going to dry out faster.
You know, it's kind of funny. I want to go back to Vince Friese, and you take away the fight, you take away the trouble, and he rode pretty good last weekend. He rode really good last weekend. I think he's going to be pretty fast tonight, and you know, maybe surprise some folks, get in the main event, maybe be a good fantasy pick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, last weekend he didn't get in that main event, and the things that happened, you know, with him and Weston. I think, you know,
yeah,
your mind's not right next week. You know, I mean, the week after it's right, but I'm talking about that night.
Yeah,
I didn't look for him to, you know, at least he got out of Anaheim and he's here at San Diego. So, yeah, I mean, Freeze definitely should be in that main event.
Did get a written warning, did get probation. Vince Friese did.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't, you know, let that go, you know. I mean, it was twice that it happened, and, you know, they've had history in the past, you know, when they were both privateers coming up.
Washougal.
Yeah, Washougal and Supercross. I think Oakland one year they got into it, you know, and, but.
You'll have guys like that throughout your career, though. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Checkered flag is out, and it is Benny Williams, number 192 on his Yamaha with the 55-1, followed by Todd Bannister, Philip Klakow, David Pulley, and Jason Cooper rounding out the top 5. We still have some more guests coming up. I'm going to talk to the gentleman that finished 11th in his very first Supercross last weekend, Hayden Melross, and it's going to be fun to talk to him. Got to talk to Tim Ferry and hear about his hard work, his dedication, you know, and I asked him, like, Tim, tell me something. Give me something insider on this guy. What's he do? What are his hobbies? And he's like, riding dirt bikes.
And he's a workhorse.
Yeah.
Workhorse.
Yeah.
Want to welcome everybody to Petco Park here today in beautiful San Diego. We're on the Jumbotron, and you're watching Race Day Live.
The brand new Jumbotron. We didn't have it last year for our maiden voyage, but it's definitely beautiful. It's cool, adds to the whole viewer experience, and when you buy a ticket to Supercross, you get to see yourself on that thing that's, I don't know, what is it, 100 by 200?
It's big, I know that.
Right. But
I know that.
like you were saying, Tim Ferry said he's a workhorse. I mean, Tim Ferry, you know, validates somebody as being a hard worker. I'd probably listen.
Yeah, Tim was a workhorse himself.
Long career, a lot of podiums.
Tim didn't give up. I mean, he had factory rides, and he lost at Moto Triple X, picked him up. Then he got back with Kawasaki at the end, which is good. So that's nice.
Yeah. Right. Well, we're going to talk to Hayden here a little bit, but we got some words from our sponsors coming up. Then we're going to take a little break. Stay with us. And welcome back to Race Day Live from Petco Park in sunny San Diego. You're watching the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge. Kids out there putting in a little practice. And welcoming to the show is Hayden Melrose from the 5150 Yamaha team. Put in a heck of a ride last weekend. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Hey, I want to shake your hand. Last week, that 11th, your first Supercross ever, your debut at Anaheim, man. What a great ride you put in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for my first ever ride, I didn't really have too many expectations on myself. You know, it's the Anaheim A1. There's enough pressure on yourself as it is. So to come out with an 11th, that's a dream come true. You know, especially to race in front of thousands of people, and do it in America. It's unreal. So I couldn't have been more happy with how the outcome was.
So kind of take us back. You're sitting in the tunnel. Opening ceremonies is going off. There's fireworks. The crowd's screaming. You're the first heat race of the night in your first Supercross. It gives me goosebumps just talking about it. How exciting was that, man?
Oh, dude, for sure. Like, I mean, being home in Australia, I don't think we really even have fireworks until like the last few years in Supercross. So it was a total change for me. Standing in the tunnel, the fireworks going off, them yelling all the famous names. Chad, Kennard, Villapoto. Oh, sorry, and Villapoto and McGrath doing the laps. And I mean, I'm standing there just going like my head's spinning. I'm just shaking. I'm like, dude, this is what I want to do. And I mean, it was just a dream come true. And yeah, I mean, unreal experience.
When you're getting a chance, we had a split screen here. Obviously, you had to start out on a KTM 50 or maybe a PW 50 down in Australia, but what a treat these guys have to get out here and ride here at Petco Park.
Oh, for sure. I mean, these experience that these young kids are gaining is incredible. I mean, I could just can't even remember when I was that young, so many years ago, but for these kids, they've got it. They've got the opportunity to ride out here and on this awesome track and learn so much. I think it's great for the young kids.
What's the attraction for the Australian riders? I know I've worked with a lot of guys from Europe, Juice Lansoon, Gert Christinoff. He just texted me and he's listening to the show. But a lot of the European guys, they really don't want to mess with Supercross. I say, hey, you guys. I mean, Juice Lansoon rode a little bit of Supercross, but he got hurt. But I see a lot of Australians that we really don't want the motocross. We want the Supercross. We want to make our mark in Supercross. And you see with Chad Reed and Craig Dack and all the guys, and just the history of the Australians, coming over here, the Moss brothers and Daniel Reardon, guys like that. I mean, what's the attraction here in America?
It's just the way you guys do it. I mean, with the crowd you guys get and everything, it's just like, when we grow up racing and we race our Supercross, here's where most of us want to be, in front of this big stage, in front of everybody. And for me, it was, when I started racing and the Supercross over there, I knew as soon as I started racing that here was what I wanted to do. And I was lucky enough to get connections and meet a lot of people. And dude, it's finally happening, and it's awesome.
Another thing that's really awesome is, your manager, Terry Beal, and one of your major sponsors is the Race for Autism. And that's got to feel great to be a part of such a good organization for such a good effort, for such a good cause.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this team is a very, very new team. We've only been around for a few years. But our owner, Carlos Vieira, his main passion is Race for Autism. He has a charity and a foundation set up. So it's very important, and it means a lot to him. So for him to be able to introduce the 50 energy drink, which a percentage of that actually goes to the autism. So it's a really, really cool organization. And, for him to set it up and to introduce it into the Supercross industry, he kind of gets a different viewers. He gets the motocross and all that industry and introduces it into that. So it's really cool, to be part of it, and with the 5150 and the Race for Autism even being on the bikes, them kids, don't have a lot. Exactly. Yeah. And it's just so cool to be part of that. And it just makes, when I'm racing around out there and I'm in a good position, it doesn't make it just about me. It makes it about the kids and being able to display, autism and bring awareness to the situation, because it's a really cool organization, as I said.
Well, and something I like about your owner, he brings over Terry Beal. Terry Beal with his experience. Craig Monty, he's over there helping you guys out and everything. He seems like he's assembled a good group. You have a good teammate. Zach Bell also made that main event. Finished down behind you a little bit, though. But you talk about, you made some connections. One of the major connections, I think, that Andy and I were talking about it off camera, Timmy Ferry.
Red Dog.
How did that connection happen?
It happened probably back in 2014. I come in at the end of the year, actually, I believe. I come and trained with him for like 2 months, and I met him for a mutual friend named Eric Grundle. So I met him through him. It was, awesome at first. We did 2 months full on before I flew home and raced the Australian motocross and the Australian Supercross season in 2014, as I said. And then when I come back, he gave me an awesome offer to bring me in, not just to his training program, but pretty much into his family. They're all a big part of it, and It was cool, you know, to have Red Dog in my corner and to train with the guys that we train with on a day-to-day basis. It's very, very benefiting for me, and I'm pumped on it.
Absolutely. You know, he trains Trey Kennard, one of
Yep.
the fastest guys in the world. You know, it's funny, I was asking Tim, you know, on the phone on an interview, I was like, how do you get a guy like that to go faster? And he just talked about breaking down increments of the track, tenths of a second here, tenths of a second there. Does he transition that kind of work ethic and that kind of teaching towards yourself?
For sure. Red Dog, we really believe in a lot of riding. You know, that's the main focus. You're out here, your job is to ride a motorcycle. So for us, we kind of focus on just riding a lot and dialing them little things that them little tenths, as you said, that we need. We're just dialing them things in. So come race day, you know what you need to do. So he really believes in a lot of on bikes. So we spend a lot of the time, you know, on the bike and running them drills to perfect them for when race day comes around.
Well, I know something, you know, you spend a lot of time on the motorcycle, but you like to relax, and something you like to do, and maybe I can help you with that, is golf. I hear you like to golf.
Oh, dude, I love it. It's good to get away from the sport. You know, the sport is an awesome sport, but everybody needs a side hobby. And, you know, I'm fortunate to have a few good buddies that live in Florida. Martin Davalos, me and him, we golf in summer maybe 3 to 4 times a day. And, yeah, it's just awesome to get out on the golf course, kind of relax, unwind, you know, do a few silly shots just to joke around and just take a step back from it, you know, because then when them days come around where you actually do have to train, you feel refreshed, you feel ready to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think your mind's a lot at ease when you do that stuff.
Well, let me know if you need help, because my son, he graduated San Diego State here, and he was on a golf scholarship, and he's getting ready to turn pro. So if you need any help or something, maybe you need some Titleist balls or something like that, he can help you out in
Oh, mate, unreal. I need some lessons, that's for sure. Let's start with some lessons. We'll get them out of the way, then I'll focus on balls.
He'll probably trade you golf lessons for riding lessons, because when I tell him to do something on the bike, he don't listen. You know, and that's how it always is, your dad telling you to do something. But no, I mean, you know, and a lot of Australian fans I've ran into, we talked off camera on how many Australian, I know Greg Scott was here. I ran into a guy I used to race with down in Australia, Rocket Rod, you know, he's here. Everybody from Australia likes to come, not only riders, but fans of the sport love to come here.
For sure, especially being on the West Coast, you know, it's so much of a journey already just to get to the West Coast. You know, I think it's like 14-hour flight. So for them to come here, it's a direct flight. They get here. They don't just have the Supercross to go watch. They have, you know, Disneyland and so many things to do here. So it's a good reason for people to come have a holiday, come watch Supercross, hang out. And it's cool to see everybody come over. I mean, the exchange rate at the moment is not too good, but it's great to see everybody, not just from Australia, New Zealand, all around, that come out and support it, because I think it's great for the sport.
Well, why don't you look into the camera? We're on the Jumbotron there, and you got a lot of fans out there, Hayden Malross there. And as Hayden finished up 11th last week in his debut in Supercross, man, what a great ride.
That's right. You talk about things to do here, and Timmy Ferry says you have the talent to get on that podium, says you need a start, you're riding hard, you're working hard. We want to thank you for joining us on Race Day Live.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Just one quick question. From last week to this week, what did you and Timmy work on? You know, Andy had mentioned maybe starts. Did you work a lot on starts?
A little bit on starts, but to be honest, it was just more about getting on the bike. My preparation was great, but coming up to A1, I had a lot of injuries, a lot of little setbacks. So not many people knew, but the 3 weeks before Anaheim, I was only on the bike 3 times. So for me, that's hard. My fitness wasn't where I was at. My speed wasn't where it needed to be. So them little injuries are kind of sitting on the backbone at the moment. They're getting further and further away. So what I just need to do now is just work on my speed, work on my fitness, and just progress as the season, you know, as we get deeper into the season, just progress and just try to pick them positions off and hit my marks when I need to.
Well, good luck tonight. Congratulations on being a part of Yamaha. Our segment coming up next is the Toyota Tailgate Talk, where we talk about Yamaha. Let's go ahead and check that out.
Jim Holley, Race Day Live, brought to you by AMSOIL. Well, welcome to this week's Toyota Tailgate Talk. We always kind of go behind the scenes in Supercross, and what better way to go into the pit party? That's why you got to come to one of these races and come into the pits and experience everything that they have. I'm here with Yamaha's Marcus. Now, correct me if I get the last name, D. Michael, right?
Correct.
I got it right.
You got it right.
Party in the pits, I mean, this is phenomenal right here. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of the fans coming by. They're riding the Bolt, the R3. They're also, you got Kenny Roberts' the DT07 dirt track bike there. You got Cooper Webb's motorcycle on display. People can take pictures with it. You can spin the wheel, get a lot of nice Yamaha stuff. And most of all, that I'm really excited about is that YXZ 1000R side-by-side. Incredible, that thing.
Yes, it is, Jim. You know, last year was an awesome year for us. We had several new motorcycle models that we introduced. We celebrated our 60th anniversary, and from a race standpoint, it was an amazing year for us. Several championships, Supercross, motocross, and road racing, both in the United States and internationally. So what you see here is a little bit of an expansion on that as we roll into 2016. Just want to give a little bit of something back to the fans. So at select Supercross events for 2016, we'll have these models on display and some really cool opportunities as well.
You know, talk a little bit about what some of the fans go through. The kids, I see them spin the wheel and they come away, their eyes are really big and they're just excited to get something. But most of all, Yamaha, I mean, you're interacting with all the fans and stuff. And a lot of the dealers are here. I saw Dave Dameron from Chaparral here and things like that. And it's just a good fit.
Yes, it is. You know, and that's what it's all about. We want to connect with our customers and give a little something back. Spin the win wheel, you can actually enter and win several different prizes. There's an opportunity to have your picture taken on Cooper Webb's race bike and take a picture home. New models that we have on display are new 2016 YZ450FX and WR450F. The DT07 dirt track concept bike, that's one-of-a-kind concept model, and it is here on display for our customers to see as well. The trainers that you talked about, we've got a Bolt C-Spec and an YZF R3, so customers can actually climb on the bike, start them up, shift them through the gears, and see what that feels like. And then, as you mentioned, we've got the new YXZ 1000R on display. It's our new side-by-side model, super sport model, manual transmission, long travel suspension. Really excited to have a super sport model in our lineup.
Keeps you busy at these Supercross events.
Sure does. It's all good.
All right, we heard it from Marcus D. Michael from Yamaha here. Everything on display here in the pits. That's why you got to come to party in the pits at one of these Supercross rounds. There's so much to do. You can meet the Monster Energy girls, see the Toyota trucks on display, DC shoes. You got to get here early.
And welcome back to Race Day Live. Andy Boyer, Jim Hawley joining you today. Thank you for joining us. Want to thank all of our international viewers. Just had an international rider on here, Hayden Mel Ross. Not Mel Rose, Mel Ross.
Mel Ross. Look for that number 72. Watch him tonight. He's a good one. He's coming up.
Yeah, good to talk to him. Cool story. He was super pumped last weekend. Feels good about tonight. Got Tim Ferry in his corner. But they're doing some track maintenance right now. But we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at this track and do an MX versus ATV Supercross Encore Hot Lap. Jim Hawley, take us around this thing.
All right, let's do it. Michael got the whole shot. You know, he designed this game here, but he's going to run it down in the first turn. I really like the graphics that these guys put up here at the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore. It's just so realistic, you know, when you get around here, the timing sections. And, you know, if you make a little mistake, that was a nice whip there. You're going to come into this right-hander, but we're going to take a look at the start again here on the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore. And, you know, like I said, just the graphics and all the sponsorship, the tough blocks you see on the side and everything. Although we're going to have to talk to Michael because I don't see a Race Day Live tough block out there.
Got to have those.
Got to have those. But it's just interesting to see, you know, how this game is played. And like I said, I got a chance to take it home, and yeah, I'm just bad at it. But Stefan Roncada and Michael, these guys are experts at this game here. And it's just pretty cool to get some of your buddies over and race against each other. And I like how they cover the lines. They don't leave the door open for somebody to get underneath you and move you out of the way. But although if you do leave that door open, Andy,
you're gonna get taken out.
Somebody will take you out, that's for sure, because there's a lot of guys behind you here if you're leading it at this point. But just look at the view that they have right here. Step on, step off, double that section there, and the left-hander, and just the graphics, like I said, are phenomenal. You look at all the sponsorship dollars. There's Pro Taper and there, Oakley. Looks like that might have been a KTM banner there. But look at the dirt. I mean, it's cool. And we talked to Stefan last week, and, you know, expect some mudders in the future. They may come out with one of these things where it's going to be a race that's going to be a mud race for these guys, as you see a nice whip right there.
And welcome back to Race Day Live here at Petco Park. It's already round 2, 2016 Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. That was your hot lap with Jim Hawley. And we want to thank Michael Mamula for joining us on Race Day Live and explaining to us the physics of that game. We want to remind you the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore video game is now available at PlayStation 4. Pick up your copy now at Amazon, at Walmart, and at GameStop. We've got a little track work going on, Jim. Looks good. A little bit of moisture underneath the top there, coming back up to the surface. You know, getting some of those
I mean, I think that, you know, that's a staple here at Supercross. You know, anytime we have a little bit of a downtime, which we have a break, you know, the guys are out in the pits right now, and that's why it's very important to come here and see it live, because you get the autographs from the guys. I mean, you know, I come here, and if I go to a baseball game here, I'm not going to get Mr. Kemp's autograph here, you know, but I can come here to Supercross and I can get Ryan Dungey. And
James Stewart,
if I go to the
Chad
store
Reed.
and I get a Wheaties box, I can have Ryan Dungey sign it, you know. So, I mean, this gives the opportunity for the Feld Motorsports track crew to get out there and just make this track so nice for the final qualifying session. We're going to see if, you know, Stefan Roncato's 49.2 can hold up, or maybe Eli Tomac can break it down and have the fastest one after those qualifying sessions. But it's absolutely well. But I just enjoy this part, you know, because it gives the guys a little bit of a break, and it gives the guys an opportunity to come out on a fresh racetrack.
Absolutely, and it's got to feel good when you're coming out to put in your hot lap. Everything's nice and packed in. You can rail the corners.
Well, what Reed say last weekend when he was on our show, you can just send it down the
Send
whoops.
it down,
just
mate.
send it. I don't know if I'm sending it down the whoops today. These guys are big. But let's check. You know, Myra got a chance to go down at the MMI Top Tech Award, $500 for Oscar Vitamin.
Ken Roxon's
mechanic. They had a little bit of a fire drill to get that bike ready for the main event. So let's take a look at it.
Hey guys, Myra Tinajero with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. I'm here with Oscar Weirdeman. Well, Oscar was the recipient of the MMI Top Tech Award last week, and I have a feeling, I mean, I don't think it's that wild of a guess if I say that it had something to do with, you know, that mad dash, fire drill sprint to the pits to get Kenny's bike back in top shape after that gnarly heat crash that sent him into the semis, right?
Yeah, no, he went down with when he hit Barsha in the heat race. And yeah, he destroyed the bike, so he couldn't finish.
Kind of show me a little bit about what you had to do to the bike when you guys came back here.
Yeah, he bent the bars, cables, brake, front wheel, rear fender, radiators, side panel.
So a whole lot of stuff, and I heard it was all hands on deck to get you back to the gate for the semis. I mean, Kenny Watson was involved, your truck driver, everybody had to come in and help, right?
Yeah, no, it was a full-on team effort, you know. I'm not sure how much Watson was involved, but
well, you know, he had to go back out.
Was there. Yeah, no, we were probably 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, totally. I totally understand. I mean, he totally destroyed it. Good thing that he was able to get back to that semi. Now, you know, at a race, you know, it's obviously you want to get your guy to transfer to the main directly from the heat, but sometimes, like last week, he has to go to the semi, and there's even nights when he has to go to the LCQ. What are you doing in between these motos to make sure that he's back to, you know, top shape to get back out there for the main event?
Yeah, obviously last week we didn't have too much time to talk to him, you know, because we were just trying to get the bike ready. But no, they're professionals. They know that, you know, sometimes bad stuff happen, and hopefully we got our bad luck out the first heat race, the first lap of the year, and hopefully that's it, and we stay off the ground.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you won $500 out of the deal with your award, your Top Tech Award. So what are you going to do with that? I mean, are you going to take it out to the casino? Valentine's Day's rolling around. Like, what are you going to do with that?
No, we started off and bought pizza for everybody at the shop this week, so.
And that's awesome, you know, sharing the award. That's cool. Good for you. Hopefully this week you don't have to do any more mad dashes, all hands on deck type of intense repairs on the bike before the main event. But good work, good job, and we'll see you out there.
All right, thank you very much.
And welcome back to Race Day Live. That was our new pit reporter, Miss Myra Tinajero, and she's going to be checking back in with us later in the show. But pretty good piece there with Kenny's mechanic.
You like the glasses on it? I mean, I think people should Twitter in on the Twitter accounts and see glasses or not glasses for Myra. I like the glasses myself.
Me too. She does a good job. It's been a blessing to have her on the show so far. And once again, we're going to be hearing more from her, and we're going to have some more guests coming up here shortly. The big guy might be coming on here again.
Yeah,
Mr. Ray Butts.
Yeah, Ray Butts from the Rocky Mountain ATV MC. We got to ask him about Kyle Chisholm. I didn't see Kyle Chisholm out there.
We didn't see him.
Didn't see him, so we'll have to see what's up with Kyle Chisholm.
He's going to be coming up soon, but for now, we're going to talk about the science of Supercross, and more particularly the hole shot and how you get a hole shot and what it takes to be the first one into the first turn.
When you're in the gate, You hold the throttle at 25 to 30% the entire time until the gate drops, then you go 25 to 100.
Our goal is to keep him in the peak torque of the engine. Typically, the RPMs need to be pretty high, near the rev limiter. As he puts the power to the ground and leaves the gate and the bike starts to accelerate, the RPMs will actually lower as the back tire RPM and the engine RPM start to equalize.
When you're in the gate and you're on the clutch, you like to hold it just where it's engaged, but you try to find right where that sweet spot is where you can feel the bike almost jumping. And then when the gate drops, that way you can ease it out or drop it depending on the dirt. You can't rely on hearing the bike because when you're in Supercross and you're sitting on the line, there are 21 other motorcycles and an announcer. You physically can't hear anything. We have a feeling in our wrist exactly where it is, and you need to do it all off of just memory of the training that you put in. Everybody's a little different as far as body positioning goes. Taller people sit farther forward because they've got longer torso, and short people like me sit a little farther back, and then we get our chest really, really low to make sure that we stay over the front for as long as we can. A slicker track, you want to get a little bit farther back to get as much drive to the rear tire as possible.
As he launches, the weight of the bike wants to go to the rear. We use a whole shot device to get the weight of the bike more on the front wheel. So if we lower the front, it helps keep the weight forward, the front end down, while he's getting traction to the back. As they leave the line, it releases, and then they get full function of their fork for the rest of the track.
Everybody shifts a little bit differently. I shift with my toe, but I know a lot of pro riders shift with their heel. Your shift can vary from, 30 feet out of the gate to 60 feet out of the gate. It kind of just depends on how the dirt reacts. Probably one of the most important things is just the actual gate drop, timing that to where when it's halfway down you're taking off. It just comes with reaction and time doing it over and over again.
And welcome back to Race Day Live here at Petco Park in a beautiful sunny day. Want to welcome back Ray Butts from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Welcome to Race Day Live again.
Thanks. I'm glad you guys had me out.
Hey, I got to ask you, I was talking to Andy, Kyle Chisholm. I really didn't notice him in the practice, and you got a little nervous and said, no, he was out there. But what did he qualify in at? Because it was hard for us to see.
You know what? I mean, I think he's in the teens somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't see exactly where he ended up, but he's feeling a lot better. He's got his suspension. He's been working on that, trying to get it figured out. But he seems to be doing a lot better and a lot happier. So, high hopes.
And he was happy last week at Anaheim, the opener. He got that bike into the main event, but I know it was he was outside the top 10. I know he wants to be in that top 10. What did he work on this week during practice? Do you know?
That was the biggest thing, was this suspension. I mean, he's been a traditional suspension kind of guy. They really worked with him to get comfortable with the air fork, and he just didn't gel with it. So we ended up finding a good set. The guys from Nolene came in and helped him out and set up a more traditional set of suspension like he's used to. Came back in. I think he's feeling a lot more comfortable on it.
That'd be Clark Jones over there at Nolene.
Yeah.
Clark Jones, and he's been around. He had a race team and stuff. He used to work at Yamaha. I always like to see guys that have the knowledge, that have rode motorcycles professionally, and then they get into a business like Nolene with the suspension and stuff, and they're really hands-on over there and working with the guy and making them happy.
You bet. Yeah, I mean, they're awesome to come over and work with the guys and really talk about it's really down to the minutia almost. I mean, a guy like me, I could go out there with 2x4s strapped on and probably couldn't tell the difference. But, those guys, it just means the difference, and to really go out and go from 15th to 7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question, Andy. A guy like you, I mean, what are you weighing in at now? Because, I don't know if they make a spring stiff enough for you, Ray. You're a big man.
They just pull it off an F350.
Okay, all right.
Well, speaking about big things, the Rocky Mountain ATV MC Fantasy League this year is absolutely huge. Your grand prize is a Toyota Tacoma. Talk about how that came together to give away a pickup for playing Fantasy Supercross.
Well, we've been working on this our third year of Fantasy, and we like to work with the group at Feld and really talk about all the partners that come into Supercross and everything, and we just kept asking them, hey, who else can we bring into this that would make sense for them? And I guess Toyota's really wanting to expand out and look for opportunities to give a truck straight out to a consumer. And then, it just folded in nicely. Feld set us up. We had a meeting. Next thing you know, we're good to go.
That's awesome. And you know, your first and second prizes, a 450 that's all raced out. Obviously, you guys made contact with all the people putting modified parts on it, brakes, pipes, handlebars, chains, sprockets.
Everything.
Just expanding your relationship, you know, has to be better. And, you know, it's all centered around this fantasy thing. And it's everybody's doing it. You talk about the folks at Feld. I know executives at Feld that are playing it. They love it. It's addictive, and everybody's really into it this year.
I heard there's a guy named Andy that's doing pretty good in it. I don't know, but
yeah.
Well, let's take a look at it. We have a piece actually that we want to roll here and see exactly how you can get involved in it and participate.
You bet.
What's up, guys? Chase here at Rocky Mountain ATVMC, and it is time for Fantasy Supercross. If you played Fantasy Supercross last year, the gameplay for this year is going to feel very similar. However, we have made some big changes to scoring that we think you guys are going to love. For 2016, we'll be giving away over $100,000 in prizes. Our grand prize will be the all-new 2016 Toyota Tacoma. We also have a brand new Race Prep KX450F and a KX250F for our first and second place winners. We have got a ton of other prizes that we're going to be giving away as well. We've also got weekly prizes for our top 10 winners. So if you get a late start to the season, it's not a big deal. You will still have plenty of chances to win. To start playing, simply go to www.rmfantasysx.com and create an account. RM Fantasy SX is fun, it is easy to play, and it makes Monster Energy Supercross even more exciting. So make sure you sign up and start today.
And there you saw it. A Toyota Tacoma, a 450, a 250. I mean, those are huge prizes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got people fired up. And I'm going to kind of, you know, move forward a little bit here and put you on the spot. Who's in your fantasy lineup, Ray?
You know what? Watching Dungy ride last week, I think
Pretty
that guy
good.
feels like that's his position, that he should be at the top of the box. You know, Barsha was looking good. You know, you can't throw out Tomac. I mean, all of those guys are going to be there.
Yeah.
It's just how you shuffle the cards at the end of the day. Looking at the track, looks like there's a lot of 90-degree turns. I think whoever's going to be a strong starter this week is going to get out early and possibly hold that position. So I'd look for anybody that can get out of the gate strong today.
Well, the thing that I like, we were talking about it on Race Day Live, you got a guy like Christophe Porcel that's lighting it up and qualifying. I mean, where do you put him on your fantasy picks? Because at one time,
top 10?
he's going to jump into there and win one of these things.
I put him in my top 5 last week, and he didn't get me any points. I'll just put it at that. So I don't know. I mean, last week it was a little crazy. You know, everything was going off. We had the red flag and everything. So, you know, that guy could definitely be in the top 5. I mean, there's a dozen guys that can be in that top 5 right now.
Hey, you think you see like maybe next year in 2017 you can see something where evolving in the fantasy leagues that maybe they'll pick who gets the whole shot. Maybe you can give prize. I mean, you guys talk about that. I mean, I know you want to keep it growing, and like we saw in that clip. I mean, I've been on the website myself, and just so easy to everything is just easy to walk you through it and everything. And like we'd mentioned, some of the prizes, the Toyota Tacoma truck and the motorcycles, the Kawasaki Ford, but also down there, you know, 8th position, 9th position. I mean, you got gear you're giving out, tires and everything. I mean, and you got the wild card pick at 9th. You can pick, hey, I think this guy's going to get 9th tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize you're talking about the other prizes. Yeah, we've got tons of other great prizes. I mean, we've got Dunlop tires for a year. We've got a trip to the Monster Cup. You know, that Feld helps us out with that, gives a, you know, full VIP treatment. Last year, the winners got to go ride with B.J. Baldwin, you know, when he's out there smoking around in his truck. And
I want to do
that. I mean,
that.
just stuff that nobody can normally do. I mean, Feld really stepped up, helped those guys have an awesome trip. We've got a trip out to JGR that Pirelli's putting up. We've got just tons of stuff that we're giving out. You know, gear sets from DC and you know, all these major sponsors have come in and put these awesome prizes together. You know, we're totally stoked. And not to mention our weekly prizes. I mean, even if you come in the middle of the season and go, I can't win, every week we're giving away a few grand worth of prizes to the top 10 of that week. So there's no reason to not play all year long.
No way. I wanted to Toyota Tacoma. I want to go to the Monster Cup. I need tires.
That's
Absolutely,
right.
man. But we can't be more grateful for you helping us on Race Day Live and being one of the title sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations on everything working out. This is the biggest, you know, deepest field in history. So it all kind of came together there.
Yeah.
And we just want to thank you for joining us on Race Day Live.
Yep. Thank you, gentlemen.
Tell Kyle I want to see a top 10 out of him tonight.
Right.
He can do it.
I'll give him the word.
All right.
All right, we got some more guests coming up. We're going to hear from one of the little guys. So stay tuned. A couple words from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Yamaha, from world-leading motocross, supersport, and cruiser motorcycles to ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and more, Yamaha revs your heart.
Oakley is proud to be the official eyewear sponsor of Monster Energy Supercross. Follow us at Oakley Motorsports and at Oakley on Instagram and Twitter. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute wants to give you a 2016 Kawasaki Terex 4LE side-by-side. Go to www.winthatride.com to enter for your chance to win.
DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of 2016 Monster Energy Supercross. DC, defying convention since 1994. Check out our latest products at journeys.com.
AMSOIL. Let nothing stand between you and a great day of riding. Protect your weekend. Choose AMSOIL synthetic lubricants for your bike and your truck.
Get ready for RM Fantasy SX, the ultimate Monster Energy Supercross Fantasy Challenge from RockyMountainATVMC.com. We're giving away over $100,000 in prizes, and it's completely free to enter. Top season prizes include a brand new 2016 Toyota Tacoma, round-trip tickets with hotel to fly you and a guest to Rocky Mountain ATVMC to pick up your brand new customized FMF, KX450M, or KX250M. There's also a VIP trip for two to see the 2016 Monster Energy Cup in Las Vegas. 4th through 10th place season winners will be awarded prizes from Pirelli, GGR, Dunlop, Alpine Stars, DC, and others. Weekly prizes will be awarded from major brands. Just sign up on our secure game site, make your picks, and even get into group play to get your game on. And for more details, sign up today at rmfantasysx.com. For ages 18 and older.
There's a lot of performance hidden in these tires. These tires are insanely good. Selected as a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. If this is what experts thought about Cooper tires, imagine what you'll have to say. They're impressive on all surfaces. Put Cooper tires on your car today.
I just woke up one day and it clicked, and I'm like, I'm not just going to be someone that rode a dirt bike and that tried. I'm going to become the best. To be the best, it takes sacrifice, it takes a dream and a drive.
Striving to be the best, it's super critical to have a strong team behind you and a strong motorcycle. Being the best is everything, you know, that's what you want. It's where you want to be.
It all just comes down to how much passion you have for the sport.
The bike is everything to be the best.
Never give up, chase your dream, and if you work hard now and you sacrifice and you do what you're supposed to do, you can live the rest of your life as a champion.
The Yamaha Champion YZ450F and multi-champion YZ250F.
Rainbow Studios. Are you ready for more? MX vs. ATV Supercross Encore. The off-road legend returns with the next generation of graphics. Set yourself up with all new gear and bikes. Tear up the track in outdoor nationals and waypoint races. Meet up and explore in freeride. And for the first time ever, rhythm racing. Available now.
Your journey to work, to play, to see places you've never seen before. It's not where you're riding, it's who you're riding with.
Welcome back to Race Day Live. Andy Boyer, Jim Hawley from Petco Park. It's round 2, Monster Energy AMA Supercross. Want to thank Ray Butts for joining us there from Rocky Mountain ATV MC Fantasy. Big guy. It's always fun to talk to him, but Kind of puts perspective on some things, huh?
Yeah, my buddy Kurt Binky up in Minnesota, he plays on the Fantasy League, and he's got his picks already in. I mean, he says it's going to be Dungy, and then he likes Anderson in that second spot, and third for the man who runs that number 3, Eli Tomac. So Kurt Binky's picks, we'll see what yours are. Make sure you go to rmfantasysx.com to sign up, and like you heard Ray talk about, you don't, if you miss one, it's okay. Each and every week they give weekly prizes, so I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And speaking of Dungy, we have another special segment that delivered to us. What's it like to be around these guys in their home environment? Well, we went and found out. So, and check out this segment. We think you'll enjoy it.
Belle Plaine is definitely a small town. I think it's about 5,000 to 6,000 people, and it's real nice. A lot of farmland, a lot of country, real peaceful. Things kind of slow down a little bit. I really believe it made me the man who I am today, for sure, and it made me work hard.
Minnesota, known as kind of the state of hockey.
Yeah.
But for you, this is where your racing career started.
It's nice to remember where you came from, and keeps me grateful. You know, just started out as a dream as a little kid, and you know, it's cool to see those dreams come true, and I've been very blessed.
Well, I'm really enjoying it here.
Coming up on one of the spots that probably means the most to me, Annie's Cafe. That's actually where I met my wife.
Really?
What's up,
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
So this is it? Yeah, it's the spot. This is where you met.
Yep.
I got to hear the story.
Well, what table was it? This one right here?
It was this one.
Memory's a little
Really?
foggy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you don't remember? That's awesome.
Yeah, I ordered my egg white. What was it? Veggies
Egg
and
white,
turkey.
peppers. I didn't know if you could do egg whites because I didn't know what that was.
She looked
but
at me a little funny.
Really? You've never heard of that before?
Never heard of it.
He was the healthiest guy around?
He
or?
was.
I was getting ready to walk up to the cash register to pay for it, and she was going to ring me out, and I was going to ask her for a number. Well, I got too shy. I was kicking myself, so I was like, well, how can I get a hold of her, you know? So 411 kind of popped into my mind. I should call Annie, ask for Lindsay. We hung out later that night. Behind us, this is where I went to school through 8th grade, Catholic school, Guardian Angels.
Were you well behaved?
Well, yes. Well, you had to be. I mean, you got detention for chewing gum. I mean, it was pretty strict. But I realized like how ahead we were in our education because there was a lot less kids and it was more like one-on-one teaching. Played basketball, baseball. Every Wednesday, actually, we'd walk across the street and go to church here. It felt right to get married here, so this is where we got married last year, November 1st, me and Lindsay.
It's cool because Ryan's grandparents got married here, his parents got married here, so we were like, that's really cool to like keep the family tradition going. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is actually my grandpa's land.
Really?
So yeah, he lived right over here in a house just straight across. So this is where I grew up riding. Actually, it started over here riding a little bit. Well, then that got kind of closed down because the pickle factory over here.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing, you know, I mean, just all the laps we spent out here, and I think we had like a minute-long track.
Were the Dungies known around town as the riding family?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you ever hear complaints?
Not really any complaints, just like we can hear the noise. Nobody ever complained, and thank God, because we wouldn't have had a track. By this tree, we had a little on-off, and
oh, good.
Yeah, I hit neutral off that. That didn't end so good right there. Dad get off work, we get out of school, be down here, ride.
This seems to be our final spot, right on Lake Minnetonka. It's absolutely beautiful here.
Fortunately and thankfully enough, we were able to purchase a lot here. This time next year, it'd be nice to break ground. We look forward to building our future home here.
Where's the room for the racetrack? Where's the dirt track?
We're switching to jet skis. We're having a course out on the...
Okay. This has just been so much fun, so thank you.
Thank you.
Hey! Hey!
And that's a little bit of what it's like to be with Ryan Dungy in his hometown with his wife, where he met his wife and cut his teeth growing up racing motocross. And it's pretty cool. I love that story. I grew up in the Midwest, and it always seems like a lot of the Supercross champions came from California, you know, and to see somebody from Minnesota, you know, come and make it and be on the cover of Wheaties, be an ESPY, be the ambassador for our sport. You know, it's a really cool story, and Jenny Taft really did a good job.
Yeah, I was a little bit jealous that Jenny Taft got to do that because that was such a nice piece she did.
Right.
I like when you go back to your home roots, you know, like Ryan said, in school, you know, there was probably, you know, not as many people as like in Los Angeles School District or something like that. But, I mean, just Ryan, the work ethic, and, you know, that was his grandfather's land where he got a lot of memories there. And you heard he's going to build his house when he retires from racing probably there and stuff. So I think that's pretty pretty cool.
Pretty cool. And another cool story is another guy, an inspirational racer, the defending Petco Park winner, Trey Kennard. We caught up with him last week in Anaheim. Here's what he had to say.
Jim Holley, Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. Well, Trey Kennard 2016 has arrived, and it looks like you're ready to go.
Yeah, I had a great off season, as everyone did, and everyone will tell you, but I feel good. I think that, I'm in a different mindset than I've ever been coming into this year, and it feels good, and maybe a little bit under the radar, I don't know, but I'm excited to get going.
Something else I want to ask you, how was your trip after the Monster Energy Cup? I know you got a chance to go, you and your wife, and race in Japan. You had a good race over there. How was it over in Japan?
It was awesome. Having my wife with me as well, the experience was even better. But just such a great opportunity for me to see what happens behind everything. And, you as a rider, you always show up to the track and your bike's there and the mechanics are there and you ride, you do your thing, you go home. And you don't really realize how much goes behind that. And to be able to see every person that is working so hard for us to go race a motorcycle, it was a really big privilege.
Does that give you a little bit of a different perspective on racing and what you have? Because, that's why I asked you that question, because I knew you were over there and you get a chance, you tour the factory and you just see how everything's built and how many man hours and people that are behind this program, HRC.
Absolutely. It gives you a completely different perspective than I've ever had anyway. And it just makes me want to do well for them because they're trying so hard for me. And, I want to give them the results that they want and make all their hard work worth it.
Let me ask you this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the final year of you on your contract, so this is a big year for you. If you stay with Honda or you move on, you got to have a good year.
Yeah, I never look at it that way, and I don't think that you can. You can't go out there to race for a contract. You can, and obviously you got to have a job, but for me, if it ever comes to that point, I don't want to do it because it's about a lot more than the dollar amount or even having a certain group behind me. I want to go out there because I love it and because people I know are working hard for me to do that, and I want to give my best for them and give my best for myself and go have fun.
That was a good piece from Trey Kennard, and what an inspiration. He's come back from so many injuries time and time again. He doesn't just come back, he comes back with the speed to win races, Jim Holley.
Well, and like we've talked about, when you win a race like he won here last year, you come back to a familiar area, Petco Park for him. I look for him to be strong. Maybe a fantasy pick for a winner tonight here again to go back-to-back at Petco Park for him.
Absolutely. Strong team, with HRC getting back on there, but I'd like to think we have a pretty strong team, and Miss Myra Tinajero caught up with Mike Williamson last week at Anaheim 1 at the season opener. Here's what they had to talk about.
Hey guys, this is Myra Tinajero with Race Day Live. I'm standing here with Michael Williamson. Now, Mike was the guy that stood by Ryan Villopoto as he went through the championship and got it and sealed the deal 4 years in a row. Now, Mike, tell me a little bit about that and how important it is to have stuck with Ryan throughout every year with his championship run.
Yeah, that was obviously a lot of great years for us. It wasn't easy by any means, but it became more natural as it went on. Obviously, the first one was really hard to win. I think the second one was probably the hardest, but then after that, it was almost natural, and it just happened. We were a little more relaxed and believed, we were the guy to win. So we're able to do that, and Ryan, was able to leave the sport in one piece, and it's all good now.
Okay, so then in your 5th year that you guys tried to pursue the championship, it didn't go as planned. So, after that, you moved into a new position. Tell us about your new position and what you're doing now with the team.
Yeah, obviously we didn't expect Ryan to go race the MXGPs that, last year. We actually had a contract with him 1 more year, so it was kind of a in-between year, We found out at the last minute he was going to go there, so we didn't have a lot of time to grab another rider, at a championship level. So we just went through the motions last year, put our pieces together to get Eli over here on a Kawasaki, and since then, we brought over Brian Kranz with Eli. who's been together, which is a really important relationship, to keep together. And I've moved into a crew chief position here for Eli Tomac, and for me, it's to help Eli and Brian both, do what we did, do what Ryan and I did, and what Kawasaki does, and that's win championships. So he was able to win some races, and now it's time for the next step and win a championship.
Absolutely. With Eli Tomac's race wins last year, Monster Energy Kawasaki definitely saw the value in bringing him onto the team. Along with him, Brian Krantz. Brian, tell us about your experience so far with the team.
So far, my experience with the team has been great. Everybody has welcomed Eli and I with open arms, and it's been a really positive experience so far. They've given us everything we need at our disposal to give Eli a championship-winning bike, and that's what we're here to do.
Awesome. So how's the transition been from going from, Geico Honda now to Monster Energy Kawasaki? Are you guys doing anything particularly different?
I wouldn't say we're doing anything particularly different. They're both factory level teams, and everybody has the same goal. That's to win and to win the championship in the long run. We're really just doing what we always have, and we're just trying to put all the pieces together to seal the deal when it counts.
So are you feeling, some pressure? They were going for that 5th year in a row last year, and now they brought on, Eli Tomac that has a legitimate prospect on getting that championship. So, how are you feeling with that?
There's always a little bit of pressure there, but we're all very experienced guys, and we all do our job very well. So at the end of the day, it's up to Eli to make it happen and deliver on the track.
Absolutely. Well, we're standing here with probably one of the most winningest teams in Monster Energy Supercross. I think they have a great chance at the title, and we'll see them out there on the track.
And that was a great piece by Myra right there. She just jumped right in there, went with one of the biggest mechanics and now team managers in the game. And we saw her with her glasses on, we saw her with her glasses off, and we actually got a little bit of feedback already.
Yeah, Big Mike Giroux from Carson City, he says he likes the glasses. He's listening into us. But behind us, you're going to see that final qualifying session in the 250B C class, out behind us there. But that's what Myra's doing for us. Myra's getting in behind the scenes and getting us those good interviews.
Absolutely. Track is perfect. These guys got to be stoked. Everything's perfect traction. This is where, the Fast 40 comes into play. You got to get into the Fast 40 if you want to be into the night show. So these guys are out there going with everything they have.
Yeah, Brock Shoemaker already out there with a 54.7, a good ride for him. We saw him, I believe he was in 3rd or 4th in that qualifying session there in Group C.
Yeah, 250C. And like I was just talking about, Jim, these guys, this is how you make it to the night show right now. In order to feel those butterflies that Hayden Melross was talking about, you got to get out of this C group and in the top 40 so you can race in front of 30,000, 40,000 people.
Yeah, I think a 53.9, I think that'll do it for him. I think that's a good lap time to get you into the 40 fastest here. And, like we talked about earlier in that break, look at the track. It is phenomenal out there. There's no ruts out there. And I'm going to use that quote as we see Brock Shoemaker right there, number 448 there on that Yamaha. Kind of rolling the whoops right there. And he already put down a good lap time. So a lot of times these guys will go out and they'll send it on that first lap, and then the next lap they might slow it down, back it off a little bit, take a breath, and then go back out there and see if they can't, drop that time a little bit. But he knows. Now he dropped down to the 2nd spot up front there. It's going to be Zachary Cummings, number 203, making his debut at Supercross here, coming through the Amsoil Arena Cross. I believe he was in Cincinnati last week in that opener. And like we said, the Team Babbitt's Monster Energy Amsoil Kawasaki with Faith, Hayes, and Blos dominating the opening round. They're in this weekend in Baltimore. There are 2 nights in Baltimore.
Right.
The defending champion, Kyle Regal, a 10-9, finished 8th overall. So he's not in the hole yet, but I'm sure he wants to try to win one of these things pretty quick.
Right, and a whole rebranding with Amsoil Arena Cross this year. A huge effort was put into by Feld. It had a brand new podium that was awesome. Diana Dahlgren's over there as a Fox Sports 1 pit reporter. She had a great time. super good for that sport. And they come out in the Babbitt's, Monster Energy, AMSOIL, Kawasaki team sweeps the podium. Those guys look tough.
Well, and we were at the final last year in Las Vegas, and we saw Hayes lose that championship. I don't think he's going to lose it this year. I think he wants to make a statement and get his first championship win. Five minutes to go here in the final qualifying session for the 250 Group C here. Petco Park, you see some of the fans starting to fill in and watch it's interesting, when there's no racing on the track, everybody
in the pits
gathers out to the pits, gets their autograph. As soon as those bikes fire up, they're on the track. Here they come in droves, getting ready to watch this final qualifying session here.
As we end into the waning moments of Race Day Live, we want to thank everybody for tuning in today, all of our international viewers all across the world. Christophe Pourcel, fastest in the first 4:58. Can he back that up? I don't know. He's been fastest 2 out of the 3 qualifying sessions so far. And there's the guy, you really can't say enough about him. Needs to get that main event score up there a little bit, but as far as putting down a hot lap, and that's what we're all about here on Race Day Live is the hot lap. Christophe Pourcel's tough.
Yeah, and I like the number
177 here.
177. Yeah. Who is that? That's
Derek Stevens.
Yeah, Stevens. You see how he really seat hopped that section. Now he's looking around to see if he got up on top of that leaderboard. Unfortunately, he's not up there in that top 5 right now, but he is sitting. He moved up a little bit more, but still sitting in that 18th position. A minute flat for him. So he's going to have to pick it up out here if he's going to get that bike into the main event or the night program tonight.
That was an excellent shot at number 203 there. The corner after the finish line, the dirt, I'm turning around and looking at it right now, is absolutely perfect. It looks like an onion bed. The A group guys are going to be shredding that corner like no other. As it's still Cummings, Zachary Cummings with a 52 flat. Beating these guys around in 250C qualified number 2 and got a rider down.
Yeah, you see the yellow flags and the white with the red cross flag out there. So some of the guys are going to have to roll that section there as we're watching Brock Shoemaker again. Good buddy of ours, a big fan of ours from Estonia, Ants. He's listening in. He used to have a couple chains of some discos in Estonia there, and I'm not sure, but good to see him listening in. It's cold there in Estonia right now. It's cold. There's Cummings there. Now, talk about Zach Cummings there. He used to be with the Monster Energy Pro Circuit team on at Kawasaki, so he's on a new team here with that KTM ride. This is his debut, and hopefully, he'll be able to, go through the heat races and the last chance semis and stuff and get that bike into the main event. I got to go down after the show and talk to him a little bit. I know Matt Whiting was helping him out, coaching him. I'm not sure if Matt Whiting, brother to AJ Whiting, guy I used to race with.
I remember that. Suzuki rider, wasn't AJ Whiting?
Some of those yellow flags, and that's so hard. When you're laying down a hot lap and you come around there, you look up, you see the yellow flags, you got to back it down, at that point. And, some of these guys, are on a fast lap and they see that happen.
It's tough to back off.
Yeah. That's why we talked about that C in the 450. There was only 11 guys out there. I mean, right now we have, 20 guys out on the track, and it's very hard because guys are going to make mistakes. They know this is the final time that they're out there. They're pushing it. They're trying a few things. They've had a chance now. They've been in the pits, did the autograph session, got something to eat, and they're keyed up, ready to go here tonight.
I'm keyed up and ready to go tonight. This is awesome. Too. I can't wait for round 2. Round 1, just send everybody home with pretty much shaking their heads at the action. I think it's going to be more of the same tonight.
Well, and don't forget, February 13th, we're back here at Petco Park again.
Military
twice will it be.
Night.
Yeah, Military Appreciation Night. I look forward to that. All the military and the riders really get into it. A lot of the gear and stuff, all camouflaged out and
graphics,
stuff. It's just cool.
Bikes,
I remember Trey Kennard opening ceremonies. Saluting some of the guys and shaking their hands and everything. They were on the floor, so that'll be a huge one. And why not come down to San Diego? Valentine's Day, the next day, you might as well come down, watch Supercross on the 13th, and don't forget about your wife or girlfriend. Make sure you get the chocolates and all the flowers and the roses. I don't know. Does Myra got a boyfriend? Or Myra, I better tell her boyfriend. Make sure don't forget Myra. I know she's going to be working hard here.
Is that what they call you, gentlemen, Jim Hawley?
Used to be. Hey, actually, my wife's going to be in Hawaii watching.
Okay.
Jared opens up against playing baseball against the University of Hawaii. So James is going with her, so I'm going to have to give James a little money and say, hey, make sure you throw some rose petals on the bed, and I'll see you when you get back.
767 in your screen right now. Mason Wharton sitting in 12th position as the checkered flag comes out.
Yeah, what a nice time for Zach Cummings there, 52-0.
Half a second faster than the guy behind him. With the checker flag out, top 5. Zachary Cummings, followed by Eicher, Laringer, Brock Shoemaker, Carlos Fernandez, and Bradley Lyonnais.
Yeah, all of those top 5 guys will be in that main. I think, and what it's interesting is you see everybody's, you got the 52s, then you get 53, 54, a couple of them, then you go to 55s, 6s,
pretty close,
7s down, on Damon Back down there with that 57-4, and then behind him another 57-4, Deerfield. And a 1 minute for our buddy Stevenson, Derek Stevenson. So I don't know if that'll get him in. Maybe let's keep our fingers crossed for him.
They're crossed. We're going to wish him the best luck. There's the rest of the championship right there,
Yep, the remaining rounds. We're here tonight at Petco, then we go back to Angel Stadium, then we're up at
Oakland.
O.Co Stadium in Oakland, then we go to
Brand
Phoenix.
New venue in Phoenix.
Yep, and then back here at Petco Park like we talked about. Arlington this year is a West Coast round. The East Coast will start in Georgia, then you got the Daytona. We go up to Toronto, north of the border, the Rogers Center, Ford Field in Detroit, Levi Stadium back in Santa Clara for a West Coast round. Then we head back to Indianapolis, the Edwards Jones Dome. No more Rams there. The Rams are in Los Angeles. And then a new stadium for us, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough. Andy, you tweeted out a photo of me and Ricky Johnson when we were back there racing. And then you got MetLife Stadium there. And then the final, May 7th, Sam Boyd Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada.
There's the skyline, Petco Park. Spectacular views here. Spectacular practice action, and we got the fast guys, the fastest guys coming up, the B groups and the A groups. And in the first practice, Christophe Porcel, I was talking about him a little bit just a while ago. Can he back that up? Most of the podium was in the top 5 from last weekend. So who are you looking at to really steal the thunder and become fastest qualifier?
I think that some of the guys out there that you'd mentioned, I think that we're going to see a little bit faster lap times. I just think the track's coming in. It's prepared a little bit more. Like you said, Christophe Porcel with that 49.2. I think we're going to see some guys get into the 48s. And I think one of those guys, maybe a Trey Kennard or Cole Seeley, maybe Anderson. Anderson was second with, or actually Anderson was third. Eli Tomac was in that second with a 49.3 there, as we're getting a chance now to look at the guys in this final B group get ready to go out there on the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore starting gate. So that'll be dropping down. The guys will let them out there, and they'll get a chance. Now, this is probably a little bit faster, not only because it's a faster group, the Group B, but the track's starting to come in. They had a chance with those C guys to get out there and get some of the lines,
get the berms built up.
And then the B guys will get out there, and then we get the A guys, and it's even going to get faster.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. But I think we're going to see some shakeup, and especially in the 450A group.
Yeah, maybe, like you said, Porcel.
I think Stewart's going to be a little faster. I think Reedy's going to be a little faster.
Yeah. There's our graphic for the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore. They're at that starting gate area. Actually, they're a little bit ahead of the starting gate. They want to save that starting gate. They don't want anybody to jam it, run it over. Everything's packed. They want to save that for the first heat races. These guys are getting ready to pull the trigger. And
there they go.
There it is.
Here they come.
With all those shadows out there, Andy, you corrected me, and honestly, I made a big mistake on that first qualifying session for some of the guys. I thought that
Daniel Baker.
Daniel Baker, 78, and I got a little confused with 76 with Scott Champion
Yeah.
there, but Baker's on the Suzuki and
Yeah.
Champion's on the Yamaha. I want to apologize to any of the Baker and the Champion fans that might be listening in, but I am getting old. I'm 55, and I just couldn't really see. There was a lot of sun and glare on the track, but as you see now, that sun is starting to set in the west. Just a few spots out there where the sun is shining, but my mistake there. 78 Baker on that Suzuki, and 76 on that Yamaha Scott Champion.
We'll give you a get out of jail free card, Jim. You're
All
a
right,
legend.
thank you.
So, yeah, absolutely.
I need to go get LASIK eye surgery maybe.
Well, here we go. Michael Lieb, I believe, was the fastest the last time the B group was on the track. Looking really good. Had a super fast lap time. He's jumped out there attacking the track right now.
I remember last year before Michael Lieb got hurt, he was all in white. He
Yeah.
didn't have no one sponsoring him or anything. He was just all in
That's
white.
why
but
he was all in white. He was trying to.
It's good to see him. You know, he's got some color on him now. He's got some sponsors. Some backing and stuff.
Yeah, that was a good idea. He said, if I don't have sponsors, I'm going to wear all white gear. As soon as I pick up some real estate, then we'll put the logos on. So worked out good for him. He's all healed up. We're just waiting for live timing and scoring to catch up here, but there's Michael Lieb, number 85, hard on the gas.
51.4 for Michael Lieb.
There it is. It's a good lap. Number 902, Killian Auberson. He was fast the first session. We're going to have to get Myra down in the pits and get some information on that guy because he's riding really well tonight.
He's got to pick it up in the
Whoa,
whoops, though.
Baker. Oh, there he goes.
Baker went down.
I looped it. I think I hope he's okay. Got a little too much throttle in the middle of the whoop section there. And
oh, Michael Lieb trying to run underneath that's that section where that long, you go down the first base side, all the way on right field there. That's a long timing section. The 450 guys make it look easy. They're just triple through that section. Look at that. Seat hopping, getting over that triple there. Look at that.
He looks good. It's on the Team Slayton team.
Well, the thing about it, on a 250, you got to carry that momentum speed around. You can't get into the inside, as we're seeing another rider that's down in the whoops. You're going to see some of those yellow flags out there. You see Michael Lieb going through the whoops right now, and now the yellow flags will come off. We've got 65-foot triple and land and cover that inside. Seat hop that double again. Triple there.
Oh.
Double into the corner. Sometimes you'll see a guy come up a little short, and they're purposely trying to do that to scrub off a little speed. They might come up with just a tad bit short. That was perfect, that inside line. That's, who's that on the KTM?
138.
Blake Lilly.
Yeah.
138. That was a great line that Mr. Lilly had right there. We're going to get a chance to see Mr. Lilly here, how he does this section in
so
here.
Far. Looks good, though. As well as he's riding on this lap, he might pick up a little bit.
Yep, step on, step off that section there. Get over that. Downside that, hit that big triple. Hit the brake a little bit, get the front end down, get the power on as you head through the whoops.
Looks good.
Yeah, good body positioning. He was great there. This little triple coming out of the corner there. And we're back on Michael Lieb.
Yeah. 51-4 with 5 minutes to go. It is Michael Lieb, Scott Champion, Bracken Hall, Killian Auberson, and Ryan Breezy rounding out the top 5.
And a lot of times the Monster Energy finish line is a little bit deceiving. I mean, that's
big.
a big jump you got to huck to get over that thing.
Shadows growing. Nighttime's coming. It's going to be a good show tonight. Michael Lieb leading these guys around in the 250B qualified number 2. Looks good. Looks confident.
Michael pulled the trigger that time, hit that triple section right there. There's that finish line jump. Now he's going to kind of slow down. See, he's coming around where you join onto the starting line there. He pulls off. He's going to go into the mechanic and talk to the mechanic and see if they need to make a change with 4:26 left to go in this final 250 Supercross Group B qualifying.
Michael Lieb looking good in this group. We'll give some love to his sponsors, Team Blue Buffalo, Slater Skins, Herrera Ranch, Yamaha. Coming off of a bad broken leg last year. Lieb looks good. Hopefully he can get in the main event, get a good start, and go up there and battle in the top 10.
Yeah, you got to get in that main event. Unfortunately, not making the main event last weekend at the opener there, but looks confident here in San Diego.
Yeah,
that's one of the riders in the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit. Now, is that Baker? Daniel Baker? I'm not sure. I can't
believe
see.
so. I believe so, yeah.
Trying to see his bike, but
went over the back on the whoops.
Whoever that rider is, hopefully he'll be up and okay, and maybe he just tweaked it or something. See the mechanics here.
Go.
Telling the rider, pick it up, pick it up.
3 minutes to go.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Trying to get the back of the jersey to see it looks like a leg injury there. And yeah, that looks like Baker. That's unfortunate for the Daniel Baker there, but hopefully he'll be okay. But he's in good hands with the Asterix Mobile Medical. You know Dr. John Bogner here. This is his hometown race. He is from San Diego, so that's great. A couple of the riders, you can kind of see, Andy, now some of the guys just rolling it. You know, they're going, oh man, I want to try to save my energy and get ready for that heat race there. As we see moving up to the top of the leaderboard, that is Scott Champion, number 76 on the Yamaha. Scott Champion now just turned in a 51.4. So a great job for him that, he was able to jump up to that leaderboard, and we're going to see it's just about 2 minutes and 36 seconds left here to go. And right behind Scott Champion is going to be Michael Lieb and Breckenhall in that third position with a 51.9, and then after that you got a 52.1. So pretty good. So it's looking good for Scott Champion and the Yamaha boys, as you see Scott Champion there kind of looking over and talking to his mechanic and saying, yeah, I got this. And look at who we got next to us, Andy.
We got Justin Haas from Missouri, man, all the way to San Diego. Welcome to Race Day Live, brother. How you
Austin,
doing?
How are you, Austin?
Austin Haas.
Very good.
Good. I see you got your own sticker here. You got your number. Your number 7 is James Stewart a fan? Are you a James Stewart fan or Ryan Dungey?
A little bit.
Little bit, huh? All the way from Missouri.
Uh-huh.
How's the track out there tonight?
Awesome.
It's good, huh?
Uh-huh.
You're like a factory star. You're a factory star tonight. You know that? What? Tell me everything that you got from the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge. What do you get? Like you get a GoPro camera. You get leathers. What else you get?
I get a neck brace. I got some gloves.
Gloves?
And goggles.
Yeah. And how many autographs did you sign out there today? I know you had autograph signing.
A lot.
A lot? Yeah. Did you get any? Were there any people that came up to you and said, "How do you qualify in? What was your qualifying time when you were out there?"
No, but.
You don't know it, yeah. No. But you look good out there. We got a chance to see you. You see our timing and scoring. You see Scott Champion up there. Scott Champion up there. But hey, we want to thank you for coming up, and I want to wish you good luck tonight, Austin.
Thanks.
Go out there and put that thing on the podium.
That's right.
That's what I am going to do.
All right, you tell Christy LaCurl, thanks for making this happen and getting you up here, and thanks for coming on Race Day Live. And thank your dad. He got a chance to come up here. Have a good flight back. All right, Scott Champion there.
Jumped up to the top.
Yeah, he's still hanging on there. Michael Lieb still in that, but they noticed they dropped it down a little bit, and you can see their last lap, a 104 and a 115 for Michael Lieb. They're just kind of cooling down right now because you got about 18 seconds left to go in this final Supercross, the 250 Supercross Group B qualifying. The A guys up next.
Well, you're going to see Cooper Webb, Joey Savacci. We're going to see Christian Craig, the fastest qualifier so far today. He knows his local stomping grounds here in the El Cajon zone. What a story it'd be if Christian Craig wins this thing tonight. You know, gets a good start, battles it out with Cooper Webb and wins it.
Huge.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah. He'll be on the front front page tomorrow morning. San Diego Times.
Yeah, it'd be good. It's going to be a good race. We're going to see who's the fastest 250A guys coming up here next. Really cool to see Austin Haas from Missouri. I'm from Kansas. Just to see the look on his face, being up here on Race Day Live. Big smile.
He was a little mesmerized because he saw his face on TV, and I was trying to get him to look to the camera, but he was looking at the screen here. I had to turn my body to get him to kind of look this way, but it's so neat when we have the little guys up there. He's just so happy signing an autograph. He got new leathers and stuff, new gear.
Yeah.
It was cool.
And the top 5, Scott champion, Michael Lieb, Ryan Breezy, Bracken Hall. By 5th place was number 772 Thomas, and Killian Alberson rounding out the top 6.
Yeah, there's behind him Kinzer Endicott making his debut this year in Supercross on that Yamaha 52.5. I think that's pretty much gets you into the top 40.
Pretty tight there between champion and Lieb. Looks like just a couple tenths.
Yeah,
couple hundreds.
And unfortunately, hope our wishes go out to Daniel Baker there. He was out. He unfortunately the whoops got the best of him there. He kind of looped out and hurt his foot, it looked like. But like we had talked about, the Asterix Mobile Medical Unit taking good care of him. And hopefully we'll see him at Anaheim next week.
Absolutely. And it's going to be fun to be back to the Angels Stadium in Anaheim. But for right now in Petco Park, it's going to be a beautiful night. We've had a full day of sunshine. The track is perfect.
It's up to there. And here we go. The boys are on that MX versus ATV Supercross Encore starting gate there. You see him just ahead of the gate there, and we'll see who's going to pull the trigger and get out first here in this qualifying and final session for the 250 boys in this A group here. They're all lined up. You see a lot of the mechanics pulling down in the whole shot device and engaging them there. They want to try that and make sure everything's working as the gate drops there. And here we go. Not the gate, the flag rather.
Right. Final qualifying session for 250A. Mitchell Oldenburg jumps out front.
Just like we saw last weekend in the opener, him and his teammate, unfortunately, Jesse Nelson not here, but on the Troy Lee KTM there, jumping up into there as we see him doing the triple jump there. I look for Oldenburg. That's a guy that I think, could possibly get that whole shot and take over. I know when he started on the West Coast team, Jesse Nelson won the opener, and he's kind of in the back seat, but now he's the #1 guy over there. Absolutely. He is the only guy over there right now on that West Coast.
Got to carry the flag. Looks good, too. Was fast in the first qualifying session. Carries a little confidence, jumps out there in front of this group. 10 minutes to decide who's going to be the fastest in 250 Group A.
Right behind him, that's Osborne, number 16, kind of trying to chase him down there. You'll see Osborne come into the screen there. He's just behind there, but there's Osborne.
Oldenburg looks confident. He gets good starts.
Well, and there's Osborne.
So does Osborne. Yeah.
But the thing about it is these guys are up front right away. They know that they only have that opportunity to get out there and just jump right into it and make a fast lap right away.
Well, you have to. It's only 10 minutes. You got to go out there. It's your last chance to qualify. You got to put it to the wood and go fast. Right now. That looks like a good line from Osborne there, triple.
And it's interesting because the 250 guys like to go out there and pull the trigger right away. The 450 guys, they always kind of wait till the last couple laps to put in that fast lap time, where these guys want to put it in right away.
There he is, Christian Craig, the fastest in the first qualifying session. In the opening laps, Mitchell Oldenburg is the fastest with a 50.4, followed by Zach Osborne, Kyle Cunningham, third, followed by Jordan Smith, and Kyle Peters. Got to give some love to Kyle Peters from North Carolina.
Cole Thompson behind him, now jumping up there. Kyle Peters.
We'll see if Christian's setting up a hot lap here. Looks good through the rhythm. Flawless style, perfect timing.
For the European fans listening in, I'm trying to look down here, and Frederick Noren down there in about 16th position. We've got to get an interview. We've got to send Myra down there and talk to. I'm curious on why he changed from the 450 and dropped down to the 250.
Yeah. Cooper Webb jumps to the top, 50 flat. 1/10 faster than Mitchell Oldenburg. Still a good lap for Oldenburg, followed by Christian Craig, Jimmy D in fourth, and Zach Osborne rounding out the top 5. There's Joey Savachi jumping up into 4th. Been a tough day for Joey. Hit the deck in the first untimed qualifying session. But don't give up on him. He's tough. He's fast. He's on a great bike, great team. The big number 1 there with the red plate, though.
Look at how long he held that left foot out there. You know, he didn't want to put it back on the peg there. He
looks good. Let's say Cooper Webb jumps on a 450. I know it's early in the season and what ifs or whatever. Let's say when the series goes east, he jumps on the 450. What do you think, Jim Hawley? Does he go to the front of that class on the podium or what?
Yeah, I think it all depends on where he's at here. If he's got that championship wrapped up, then hey, man, you can go ahead and pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But if he still hasn't wrapped up that West Coast championship, hey, we'll let you dabble a little bit. And we've seen it happen with Ken Roxon and other guys that used to ride the 250 when they dabbled in it. But I don't know, maybe he's, like you talked about, can he win all of them on the West Coast? I don't know. He'd probably like to try to wrap up that championship so he can, when he goes to that 450, relax and focus on that.
For the sake of journalism, I want to say no, but he looks really good. I mean,
no, and he's ridden a 450 in Australia.
He won 6 out of 8 last year. Yeah, he's rode the 450 in the Motocross of Nations, in the American Grand Prix, in the Australian Open, and he can compete with the best in the world.
Chris Howell,
who jumped into the main event last weekend. Good for him on his Husky. I don't know if there's anybody smiling bigger than the executives at Husqvarna right now. You know,
they're doing a good job. I mean, you're seeing a lot of white motorcycles out there, not only
fast
in the
white motorcycles.
Yeah.
You know,
and handling great. Look at that, right through the whoops. Didn't buck, didn't do anything. They're just straight, getting through it.
Chris Howe looking good with 5 minutes to go. The top 5, Mitchell Oldenburg jumps up to the top, followed by Zach Osborne, Jimmy D, Christian Craig, and Cooper Webb. Mitchell Oldenburg with a 49.5. How about that?
Yeah, Chris Howell, unfortunately, last weekend he got 22nd. He started 22nd, but he qualified in 13th fastest, so the kid's got some speed, that's for sure.
Oldenburg, the heat, 49.5.
I told you, I was talking to you earlier. Things change when you're the number 1 guy over there. And sometimes pressure's good for a guy like Mitchell Oldenburg. He's leading it right now with a 49.5. Right behind him, Zach Osborne, a 49.6, a 49.8 for Jimmy Dakotas. Christian Craig, a 49.8.
Yeah, Cooper Webb in 5th right now.
Still got a lot of time, though. I think Cooper Webb, 352 left in this final A250 Supercross class here.
There, Webb jumps up to 2nd, 1/10 behind Mitchell.
Kyle Cunningham now, number 45, getting a chance to see him go around. Not a bad, now we got a yellow flag. So you got that yellow flag out there. You got to back it down and see what's out in front of you there.
Look at Cooper looking back at Mitchell saying, hey, man.
There's Ron. I'm trying to see what that rider was.
It looked like it was our friend Fredrik Noren over there.
Fredrik, 43. The man from Sweden, Fredrik Noren, having his problems there on the track, shaking his head a little bit.
What's he saying over there, Jim Hawley?
I say, man, I can't believe I made that mistake.
Looks
he'll
okay,
be fine.
Though. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Number 42, number 1 there, Cooper Webb. I don't know. We got 3 minutes to go. See if Cooper gathers it back up and goes for the top qualifying spot.
He might. Yeah. You kind of looked at him just then as we're seeing Mitchell Oldenburg. Kind of was spacing itself out so he didn't run into any traffic there.
Well, Cooper's on a heater right now. I just looked over our shoulder, and he just obliterated the berm.
Cole Thompson there. Nice. Nice triple out from Cole Thompson there. Here's Cole Thompson in the whoops. Let's see what he can do here.
I like that setup. Good-looking gear, good-looking bike.
Yeah, this is that inside line where they're going to do that double-double, and then they're going to seat hop and triple this section in here and triple in. Watch that inside. There's Joey Savachi just ahead of him.
Oh, Christian Craig jumps up to the top. 49.3 for Christian Craig. That moves the top 5 to Christian Craig, Mitchell Oldenburg, Cooper Webb, Zach Osborne, and Jimmy D.
Yeah, just to let you know, a 49.3, that's as fast as Eli Tomac was in his first qualifying session. So that tells me that I think when the 450 boys get out there, we'll be seeing some 48s.
Exactly. Look who jumped to the top.
Yeah, with a 49.306, Christian Craig with a 49.370.
Yeah.
And then Mitchell Oldenburg with a 49.
The top 5 all ran 49s. Look, I mean, these guys are camped all over each other.
Can you say we need a start tonight?
I think we need a start tonight, exactly. And if Cooper Webb gets a bad start, you know, he's not that much faster than the field.
Well,
it could be interesting.
And if you watch Cooper Webb, he changes his lines a lot.
Yeah.
There's the man,
72.
Hayden Melross. He was on our show, Race Day Live, earlier there, and he's got to pick it up a little bit. I'm sure Timmy Fair and the boys, because he's sitting down in 16th position. That's not where he was last weekend, Hayden, when he qualified in. Actually, well, he did qualify in at 16th. He got 11th in the main, so
yeah.
16th's okay for Hayden Melross.
Let's check out his style. He looks really good. Taller guy, fluid, looks pretty smooth. Enjoyed talking to him on the show. Seems like genuinely happy and ready to go capture the dream, man.
Well, and that's what I was asking him. You know, what intrigues the Australians to come here? It's the big show. Right. It's the fireworks, all the crowd, the opening ceremonies, and everybody getting behind him there. Is get a chance to watch him come into that first turn there. Oh, nice. Triple that coming out of there, double into that corner.
Looks smooth.
He might be on a heater right now. He might prove us wrong and jump up from 16th. Let's see what he does, because right now he's at a 51.8 for Hayden. We'll see if he can jump up on this lap here, because he looks good. Whoa! Uh-oh! Hang on to it.
Good save, buddy.
Hang on to it.
Good
nice
save right there.
He might come in and talk right directly to his mechanic and say, look, we got to adjust something. But no, he didn't. It's over now. That's it.
Yeah.
Look who jumped to the top.
Yeah, the big bad wolf, Cooper Webb.
But not by much. Still has it at a 49.3. Yep.
700s over Christian Craig.
Yep.
Third place, Mitchell Oldenburg. Fourth place, Jimmy Dakotas. Fifth place, Zach Osborne. We'll go through the top 10. Sixth was Joey Savachi. Seventh, Colt Nichols, a good performance by him, followed by Jordan Smith, Chris Aldridge, and Alex Martin, rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, great.
So that was a pretty exciting qualifying session there. We're going to have Cooper
Definitely
go down
was.
and talk to Ashley and hear how he got that lap.
Yeah.
Sometimes they talk to second place, you know.
Yeah,
so.
it just depends on who they can grab. I know our buddy John Martini listening in. He already corrected me when I said leathers to the KTM Junior Supercross Challenge, Austin. Not leathers anymore, just pants. Sorry about that. You know why I said leathers, though, don't you?
Because they used to be leathers.
Well, no, because I did that dirt track out at Willow Springs, Eddie Mulder, so I was riding dirt track. I wore leathers.
There's Cooper. Cooper just came across the finish line there, so it's going to take him a while to get over to the podium, but going to be good to hear from him, see how he put in the fastest lap.
Yeah, 49.3.
Yeah, 49.3, followed by Christian Craig, and a strong qualifying performance by Mitchell Oldenburg. The lone wolf over there on that team. It'd be good to see him get a good start and, you know, kind of stand up for his teammate who's injured right now and get his Troy Lee Design, Lucas Oil, GoPro, KTM on the podium. And, you know, Dakotas, Osborne, Savachi, Colt Nichols, Jordan Smith, Aldridge. I expect a little bit more speed out of Aldridge, but he's keeping it on two wheels. So right now I think that's the most important thing for him.
Yeah, the other thing, Zachary Bell out. We'll have to, after the show, we'll have to go down there and see what happened to him.
Here we go.
To tonight's heat races, Cooper Webb. Coop, you know, you come out in the first round of qualifying just barely off the top spot. You come out in this one with your head down, set the fastest lap time. What was so different in this one?
Just felt a lot more comfortable. We made some bike changes in between practice, and you know, we got some rhythms that I wasn't doing the first one, and you know, it's good that I can. I feel really comfortable. I feel like I can do multiple laps out there. So that's where I was lacking in that first one, but I think the track's going to be great for racing, and it suits my style.
What is it about this track that really suits your style? We see some different rhythm section. The whoops are pretty big out there, and also some flat track. What is it about it that really works for you?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. It's a lot of different rhythm sections, which is fun for me, and switches it up. So it's the biggest set of whoops we've seen so far, and just it's a challenging track, so I think we'll wait to go to the night show and be ready to go.
Anything you're going to work on between now and the heat race?
Just staying loose and having some fun, and yeah, that's really about it. But I just want to thank the whole Star Racing Yamaha team, Rockstar Energy, Cannondale, all the mechanics guys over there. Been busting their butt today, and just looking forward to a good night.
We're looking forward to seeing the champ up there again tonight. One more time, your fastest qualifier here in San Diego at round number 2, the Yamaloop Star Racing Yamaha rider number 1, Cooper Webb.
Gotta love Cooper Webb.
The
Up there, a little social
West
media going
region
on. People Instagramming their photos
looking
up.
good.
And getting it.
Won last weekend, the fastest qualifier today. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat the big number 1.
Yeah, but a guy that thinks he can beat him is Christian Craig. I mean, he's just a little bit off of there, and if anything happens to him at the start or maybe halfway through that main event he goes down or something at Webb, and Christian Craig can win his first of his career here in San Diego. So, I mean, it's not over until those 15 laps, until that final checkered flag in that main event, but definitely Cooper Webb looks good.
Yeah, he does look good. Mitchell Oldenburg looked extraordinary that practice session. Jimmy D looks good again. He finished 4th last weekend, qualified 4th, so he's putting that new Geico Honda ride for that he earned to good use. So he's another guy that gets a good start. Jimmy Dakotas,
Well, he made a mistake last week when I was talking to him. He had a good start, but that first lap he just didn't pull the trigger. He was, some sections where he should have been tripling. He doubled through him. A couple guys passed him, and he had to work back up. But I think he got that out of the way last weekend at the opener, and we'll see if he can, possibly get a podium. That was the best of his finish of his career. As you see the boys lining up just in front of the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore starting gate.
4:58.
There's the big boys.
Yeah. There's Bopping. He was fast last weekend.
Yeah.
Made the main event. There's Christoph, the fastest qualifier the first time out. There's Roxon.
Tickle.
Chisholm. Bam Bam.
There's Chisholm.
I'm excited. This is going to be good. I want to see those veterans get up on the handlebars and put a lap in. I want to see Stewart and Reed.
They are. And something that I noticed when Dungey left the MX versus ATV Supercross Encore starting gate that we haven't seen in a long time is him up front right away. Him and Jason Anderson 1-2 right out there on the track.
It's kind of fitting. That's who they practice with at the Baker's factory in Florida. So they're probably the most comfortable riding around each other.
Kawasaki, you kind of see peeking in there. That's going to be Eli Tomac. So if you're if you're playing the RM Fantasy Supercross.com and you're signed up, these could be 3 of your favorite picks right there. Right out there as we're seeing Anderson right now, and right behind Anderson it's going to be Dungey and then Eli Tomac.
I'm impressed with Anderson. The red plate looks good on his bike. When you win the opener, if you're going to establish yourself as a serious contender, you kind of got to back it up. He needs to finish in the top 5, get on the podium, or who knows, win it again. He looks outstanding. Bike looks like it's working well for him. Obviously, his confidence is up. So,
well, and remember some of those epic battles he had when he was on the 250 with Cole Seeley.
He
don't care if Dungey's got that number 1 plate and runs it in. He's going to run it right back in him. You got the number 1 plate and you're the champ last year. It's 2016. I got the red background. I'm leading the points this year.
There's Bopping. You can't speak enough about how awesome that is. He made the main event and how fast he was in qualifying.
Another Australian.
Right. All these Aussies coming over here showing some serious speed. He looks good.
Anderson a 49.8 to start this one off here in this 450 Supercross Group A final qualifying session there. And Seeley in that 3rd, Dungey in 2nd there, Tomac in 4th.
Chad Reed 5th. Trey Kennard 6th. Will Hahn, they're shaking up quite a bit right now. Kenny Roxon jumps up to the top with the 49.2. Might want to look out for the 94. 94 looked pretty
been a little quiet today.
Yeah, and it was rough for him at the opener. That was a hard crash in his heat race. He locked bars with Justin Barsha, and I was watching from the Knothole Club, and I saw him go flying over the bars, and it looked really ugly. So it was just fortunate. He shook that crash off and shook off having a bad first lap in the main event, came back to post the top 5. Like you said, you can't win this championship in the first 2 weeks.
No, but you can
You
sure
can
throw it
lose
away.
And throw it away in a hurry.
Anderson kind of putting around there. I'm not sure. He might be wanting to try to look at. You got to remember, can't stop out there.
Nope.
You stop and look at a section,
Your
your
time
fast
goes
time
away.
is out. So you can roll, but you just can't stop.
Bogle. Bogle was the highest placing rookie last weekend.
Yeah, not a bad ride for him, but I'm sure he wants to fill it in there. You look at Bogle, finished up 13th. Right behind him, another rookie, Marvin Muskin in that 14th.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Christoph Porcel in 18th, the other rookie.
Yeah, I talked to Bogle on track walk, and I was like, hey, man, how was the 20? How was the 20 laps? And he said, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not, I'm working up to it, working on going that pace for the whole 20 laps. But he said he felt good, likes his machine.
Well, and you got to remember here in San Diego, some of the past winners, David Villeman 2000, Ricky Carmichael 01, then Villeman came back in 02, won again, then Chad Reed 3 in a row, 3, 4, and 5, 2005, then James Stewart picked it back up in 06 and won. Reed again in 07 and 08. Then Stewart picked it up again in 09 on his Yamaha. Then Davey Millsaps on the Honda in 2010. Reed on a Honda in 2011. Villapoto on the Kawasaki in 12. Millsaps got that first win for Suzuki in San Diego in 2013. Then James Stewart in 2014 on a Suzuki. And then Trey Kennard on that Honda in 2015.
Marvin Muskin jumps up to the second position there, Jim Hawley. That's a good lap for him.
Confidence booster right there for Marvin Muskin. He can come around after the finish line with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go here. He's going to look, and he's going to see fourth on that leaderboard.
But he's on the board.
He's on the board.
So you get a guy like Marvin fired up, get him a whole shot. One of the most talented guys in the world. He can get the job done. Millsaps in the top 5. Top 5 is Ken Roxon, Jason Anderson, Ryan Dungey, Marvin Muskin, and Davey Millsaps.
Well, I can just say for our international viewers, Greg Scott, you're missing a good one. He's down in Australia. He needed to hang out another week to see this. Yeah, and one of the guys that we don't see out there circling around, and we're not so sure, we'll have to get an update. Maybe Myra can get an update for us, but James Stewart, not in this final qualifying session. But you know what? For your James Stewart fans out there, don't panic, because a lot of times we see James Stewart, he'll ride the first one and he might not feel good and he saves it and comes out in the heat race, but we don't know. Hopefully he'll be out in that first heat race. But James Stewart, not in this
final qualifying session.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wish my thumbs
Make sure
worked
to
good,
follow,
Andy.
Supercrosslive.com on social media, and we'll find out, and we'll be reporting on that because that's a big story.
Going to try to text Mike Webb here real quick and see if we can get an update.
And with 4 minutes to go, Ken Roxon with the 49.2, followed by Jason Anderson. Dean Wilson jumps up to 3rd, Cole Seeley 4th, Ryan Dungey 5th. They're definitely putting the hammer down now. We're seeing some of the fastest lap times of the day. Marvin Muskin drops down to 6th. Chad Reed 7th. Oh boy, Ryan Dungey throws down the gauntlet, 48.6. Fast lap right there by the defending champion. As the Baker factory is 1 and 2. Ryan Dungey, Jason Anderson, Ken Roxon 3rd. Davey Millsaps 3rd now. Ken Roxon 4th, Dean Wilson 5th. Shaking up quite a bit right now. These guys are going for it, trying to get the best gate pick possible. Tomac just threw down a heater. Tomac sitting there in the 12th qualifying position, so not particularly spectacular, but I wouldn't read in too much of that. He could still go out there and get the job done tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
All these guys.
Absolutely.
The top 12, the top 13 with a good start. You'd be amazed how much better your lap times get when you're out there leading it. But Dungey, 48.6. Fastest lap time of the day, fastest lap time of this session. The Dunge was strong last weekend. Came through the pack after getting knocked down. Had to keep his head together after getting to it with Stu. And I don't care what you say. When that stuff happens, it messes up your focus and your concentration. You never want, he didn't know what happened to James. He knew he didn't get back up, but he didn't rejoin the race.
Nope.
So he had to refocus, get another start, and then he gets knocked down, and then comes back through the pack. So Ryan Dungey looks good to start this championship.
And that's something that, is not Ryan Dungey's style in years past, not to come out. I mean, when have you seen Ryan Dungey
at the top of the board?
Yeah, but at the top of the board, but jumping out there,
Uh-huh.
On the first lap and jumping out there with these guys and running hard. I mean, this is a different Ryan Dungey we're seeing here when he's got that plate behind him, that big number 1.
Something clicked last year with the new bike. It just seemed like, the guy was obviously a champion in his rookie year. Ryan Dungey's won a lot of Supercross races. He's no slouch, but he was exceptional last year, and that seems like it's carried over. Oh, Anderson, slow-mo.
Yeah, he saved it, made a little bit of a mistake. Let's see what happens here. He kind of lost it right there, and he gathered it up.
Good save.
See a few of those ruts starting to develop out there, so look for that in the main event tonight to start happening.
Yeah.
But right now, like you said, Ryan Dungey, a 48.6, and Ken Roxon, a 48.7, and a 48.7 also for Christophe Pourcel. What did I say?
Yeah.
They're going to get into the 48s. I just kind of knew it. The way everything was starting to develop on the track there. And behind him, you're going to have Anderson, Wilson, Millsaps, Seeley, Tomac, Marvin Muskin, and Trey Kennard in that 10th spot. And Reed in 11th, Weimer, Tickle, Brayton, Bogle, Hahn, Barsha.
Ooh.
That thumb still got to be bothering him.
Yeah.
Will Hahn behind him.
Chisholm and Lawson Bopping rounding out the top 20. Well, there goes Tomac up to second. I had a feeling he was going to be a little faster than the lap he had. It's a good lap right there. With 30 seconds to go, it is Ryan Dungey, Eli Tomac, Ken Roxon, Christophe Pourcel, and Jason Anderson. There's the Dunge in your camera right now. No red plate yet. His teammate, his training partner has the red plate. Now, how does that motivate you, You ride with a guy every day, and there's a little bit of idle talk about Jason Anderson being faster. And you got to watch that guy wear the red plate and then go ride with him all week.
Yeah, that'll motivate you.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's going to be good between those two.
A lot of the guys you're going to start seeing a lot of the wow. Cole Seeley just looked to see if he could maybe pick it up a little bit. Marvin throwing a whip.
Big whip.
And you look right now with Tomac in that second spot, just a tick of the watch off of Ryan Dungey there. I think it's going to be a great main event here. And if you're a fantasy player, hey, any one of those top 3 guys you could pick for winning tonight.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to go down, and Lurch is going to be talking to Ryan Dungey. Hopefully, we'll get to hear how he laid down his fastest lap. Wilson throwing a whip, doing a little panic rev.
Wow.
Champion, the number 1 Red Bull KTM, Ryan Dungey, in the number 1 qualifier here in session number 2. I got to say, last week, looking back at the results, second place, but there was so much to get to that second place. A great ride last week, and looking to improve on that here this week with the number 1.
Yeah, that open round, there's a lot going on, and a couple mistakes, but overall, pretty decent ride. I was really happy with it moving forward, and yeah, track's good here. They did a good job, and just looking forward to putting in some good laps in practice. That was the main thing, and being fastest is always good, but get a good gate pick and then go from there. The night show is always different, so I'm excited for that to get rolling, and it's good to be here.
Taking a look at the track, a lot of long straights, rhythm sections. Is it going to be something you're going to have to really dig deep and try to get those passes in those rhythm sections with not a lot of turns with it stretched out here today?
Yeah, absolutely. The start's going to be right there. That's going to be key, and then no mistakes. As always, there's too many guys here to capitalize on your mistakes, so you got to be good and smart and put it together. So that's what we've been practicing. So try to, put our plan of attack to the night show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up one more time for the number 1 Red Bull KTM, Ryan Dungey. And Irv, let's talk about it. He said, can't make mistakes. There's 18 factory 450 riders.
And there you heard it. Ryan Dungey, the fastest qualifier here today at Petco Park for round 2. Surprising?
Absolutely. I mean, when have you seen? Well, this is the second round. This is the second race of 2016, and I think if you go back and you look at the history books and the stats, you've never seen that this early in the season. And like we talked about, that's a changing of Ryan Dungey on putting down the fast laps right away early to start this season out.
Right. Well, we hope you enjoyed that 450A qualifying segment. Ryan Dungey's the fastest qualifier, followed by Eli Tomac, Ken Roxon, and Christoph Porcel. But meanwhile, our new pit reporter, Tina Harrow, has been down in the pits. Let's go see what she's been up to.
Hey guys, Myra Tinahara with Race Day Live, brought to you by AMSOIL. Now we all know that Monster Energy goes all out year after year to make sure that your fan experience at the Monster Energy Pit Party is out of this world. For the 2016 season, they partnered up with the World Arm Wrestling League and have their professionals and table set up at 12 rounds of Monster Energy Supercross to teach you how to be victorious when someone challenges you to an arm wrestling duel. I'm here with the myth, the man, the legend, Travis Bajent of the Arm Wrestling League, and he's going to tell us how to be victorious when someone challenges you. Travis, first start telling us how this partnership came to be.
Well, thanks to the CEO, Steve Kaplan. He's been working with a lot of local sponsors, and we finally linked up with a Big Daddy Monster energy drink, and Muscle Monster is going to back the World Arm Wrestling League, and we're going to bring arm wrestling to all these beautiful fans, and we're just super excited.
Awesome. So I've been challenged, and honestly, I'm not super adept at arm wrestling, so you're going to have to teach me because I am not about to go down right now. So let's get started. Tell me what we got here. Tell me how this table is laid out.
Well, first of all, you came to the right place, right? I can help you, right? So the first thing and most important thing is balance, right? You're going to take your left hand, you're going to grab the peg. Your right hand is going to tuck a little underneath of you there and then set it on the pad. You're going to stand up as tall as you can. Remember, when you get that grip, you're going to make your index finger knuckle as tall and high as you can. On the go, you want to do two things, right? First thing, you're going to want to wrist curl. Wrist curl, wrist curl, wrist curl. And then you're going to drag back. Your butt goes underneath the table, and then you're just going to rotate that wrist around. So stand up nice and tall. Ready, go. Wrist curl, butt goes underneath. Keep going, keep going. Not too bad, young lady. There's the champ.
All right, so there we have it from Travis. That's what you need to know to be victorious when you go to the Monster Energy setup within the pit party at Monster Energy Supercross. You're gonna win. Anybody here want to challenge me? I think I'm ready. I think I'm a pro now.
What do you think, Andy? Did we learn any technique? I think we and Andy are a draw. That was a pretty cool piece that Myra shot there.
Absolutely.
That's why you got to come to Supercross live.
Yeah,
watch it live because you get the chance to do that stuff in the pits.
Going on
Party in the pits.
Yeah, that's why it opens at 12 o'clock. And this is our final RM Rocky Mountain ATV MC fantasy segment. We talk about fantasy picks. Ryan Dungey's got to be at the top of the list.
Well, like we talked about earlier, Kurt Binke from Minnesota, who plays the RM, the RM Fantasy Supercross. He's already picked. He says Dungey. Second, he's going to go with the man who has that red background, Jason Anderson, Eli Tomac. I think that's an excellent pick. I think I'm going to have to go with that. I mean, I don't see anybody else in the timing and scoring that we saw that warrants getting into that, Christoph Porcel, obviously he was fourth. He could get in there, but I don't know if he's got that 20 laps in. Roxon was also up there.
Roxon.
Okay, so you're going to throw Roxon in there? Okay.
Yeah,
Where do you get Roxon at, you think?
I think Roxon's going to be the winner tonight. He's actually who I'm going to pick to win.
All right.
I think he's hungry after last weekend. Kenny Roxon won the Monster Energy Cup in October. Talked to Ricky
Finished
Carmichael.
second here last year. He was
That's
mad
right.
about that, and I talked to Kenny after last year. He thought that the white flag, he got mixed up on the laps because he was making a charge at Trey Kennard. So anything can happen here. That's why you watch.
And another thing, if you're making your fantasy lineup, guess who was missing? We don't have to guess who was missing. James Stewart was missing in the final qualifying segment. So I don't know. Do you leave him in your lineup or not?
It's hard to say. I was going to try to get you that information. I text Mike Webb, and unfortunately Mike Webb didn't text me back. So we can't say about James Stewart, but we'll run down there and we'll see if James Stewart's going to ride tonight. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed that James Stewart will line up in that heat race.
A good sleeper guy would be a Dean Wilson or a 2-time San Diego winner, Davey Millsaps.
Chad Reed,
the all-time San Diego winner. 6 wins here, 3 consecutively from 2003 till 2005. I mean, it's going to be pretty. It's dicey. You know, that's why it's fun to play fantasy.
And don't forget, when you play fantasy, pick who's going to finish up 9th. That, I think, is more challenging to say who's going to finish up in 9th. And make sure you play, even if you haven't signed up, each and every week you get prizes. So you don't have to join and hey, we're already in round 2 and we missed the first. We're not in the hunt for the big prizes, but each and every week you can win a prize still.
Well, you heard from Jim and myself. Head over to rnfantasy.com and get signed up today. You know, and it's been a good show. It's our 2nd show of the season.
Great show.
Round
Great
2, Petco Park. Great guest. We want to thank the little guy, Austin Haas, for coming on here and joining us. Wish him luck tonight.
He wears pants instead of leathers.
That's right. And it was fun to have Michael Mamula from MX versus ATV Supercross Encore explaining the physics of the game. Great to have Ray Butts on as always.
The big guy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call him, the big guy.
Yeah, and Hayden Melross. We really want to wish him luck. Good guy, you know.
Like to see him get that bike in the top 10
Tim
and
Ferry
possibly
says he
an 8.
has what it takes to get on the podium. But tune in, Fox Sports 1, 7 p.m. It's going to be round 2 of the 2016 Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. For Jim Hawley, I'm Andy Boyer. We'll see you next week.